It's the John Kobylt Show. We're on again, live here, live everywhere on KFI, on the iHeart Radio app. We're streaming. We're live on YouTube. We're probably dead in a few places too, but at the moment, YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt subscribe, become a member, and we are on till 7 today. A special extra bonus hour. All the way to 7 o'clock. You're bailing out at 6.
I'm over at 5:47 whenever you go to break.
Yeah, you'll be tucked into bed at 7 o'clock with your crazy wildlife.
Yeah.
I have not. I've not been on from 3 to 7 in that exact time slot in 10 years.
I think I was on with you when you were on until 7 many moons ago.
Yes, you were, but it's gotten to be a long time ago. So today, one day special. Conway was just on from noon to 3, and carrying the election night hosting duties is going to be Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill from 7 to, I don't know when they give up. You know, some years, usually if there's a national election, a working election night is fun, and I'm not trying to dissuade Chris and Gary from showing up, but the results in California, as you know, just simply don't come in. It is no fun,
unless it's a landslide.
Right. You got a presidential election. Like the most fun Ken and I ever had was the Trump-Hillary night, 2016. That was when the New York Times had a 99% certainty that Hillary was going to be president. They had a little meter that was vibrating on the front page of their website. That was at 99. And then I watched that stupid meter back up all night, all the way from 99, all the way around to the other extreme end. And I had all the monitors here looking at the computer, and I was watching all, the swing states, the key states, and how county by county it was going for Hillary. It was going for Trump. And you started seeing him slowly increase leads in all the swing states. It was like Florida and Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, not Indiana, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And you started seeing, and I was watching it on a minute-by-minute basis, and you started feeling like, oh, my God, this is going to happen. This really is going to happen, and it's not going to be in dispute. And he ended up with over 300 electoral votes. That kind of night is fun, but again, all the results were coming in from the East Coast. On the West Coast, for California, it's much less fun because, first of all, you always know who's going to win. And secondly, the results come in so painfully slow. We did one night, and I don't think I had realized what had become of election night in California. But it's polls close at 8, and sometimes the networks will project a winner if it's overwhelming. But if you don't get a projection, it's 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10. It's a week from Tuesday, and there's still no winner. And I'm so sick of all their excuses. I'm fed up with their excuses and their reasons. The LA Times did their annual apology story today, and I should read that because that thing pisses me off to no end. Why it takes so long. And actually, this is a good thing. It's giving people opportunity and choice, and it's enfranchising more people. It's like, shut up and stuff it. Because all it does is it locks up the ballots for 3 weeks, and God knows what's being done to those ballots. Those ballots are locked up in the dark, and they're being tortured. They're being tortured until they produce the desired result. That's my deep, darkest fear. I don't have any proof. I don't have any conspiracy evidence, but I don't know how anybody on any side could say, oh, yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they've locked everything up for 3 weeks. And then after 3 weeks, any lead that's held by anyone other than a left-wing Democrat magically disappears. If it doesn't disappear overnight, it certainly disappears after the 3 weeks. And I'm thinking, no. You want to gain some confidence and credibility in the system, get it done like every other state, every other country. That's why doing a national election on the West Coast is fun, because by 8 o'clock, most of the votes are in. You know which way each state is going. But here, And then they try to tell you, well, it's because we're trying to be fair and equitable. You know something? You have months to know when Election Day is, right? We knew Election Day was going to be June 2nd since the beginning of the year. You have 1 day to plan for. Takes you maybe 10 minutes to vote. So you knew months in advance on June the 2nd, you got to drive over to your local school or wherever they have the voting machines, and you got to walk in there and vote for 10 minutes. When did that become so difficult? Well, this is to, for people who have health issues. You always could vote by absentee if you had a health issue. Always if you were traveling out of state. Always if, you were in the military, something like that. If you were disabled, of course you could. No, this was about creating a system which would take forever to count, and then the results always seem to come out one way. There's never a surprise the other way. Did you notice that? Never a surprise the other way. A left-wing progressive always ends up coming from behind. They always end up increasing their lead. How can they never lose their lead? Even in years where they say, well, the Republicans, the independents, they're really fired up this year, and a record number of independents and Republicans are voting. Even in those years, because I noticed, I've heard a lot of that this year, that Republicans and independents are voting earlier in greater numbers. Well, we're going to see. Is the same thing going to happen? I mean, it's a load of crap, and everybody knows it's a load of crap. The only people who don't think it's a load of crap are NPR people. Well, I heard on NPR that they've never found any evidence. Okay. You talk about the reality distortion field. Look at the results. And this is a great test because I'm getting more and more into the Spencer Pratt camp when it comes to I don't care about tribal politics. I never did. I don't care about national politics. All I know is I don't want to see a naked drug addict. I don't want a guy taking a crap on my front lawn. Okay? How that became a political issue where you were supposed to choose a side. If you didn't want someone pooping on your lawn, you must be a MAGA guy. F and you. I don't want a guy pooping on my lawn because it's disgusting. Because that's disease. That's and they're sitting in front of my house and they're eating food and the rats are coming. Next thing you know, there's a typhus outbreak. Jesus, simple, basic hygiene. We invented sewer systems. We invented antibiotics. For 100 years, we haven't had bacterial plagues. And now they're making a comeback in LA for one reason. All right. When we come back, I am going to play you the only minute and a half of audio that should matter with your vote. Like if you truly don't know how to vote, you listen to this minute and a half of audio, and this should decide your vote. In fact, everybody should be able to decide their vote a certain way after listening to this. I'll play it for you again. We've played it a number of times, but you look like you're riding a horse in there. You're just full of energy today.
I'm exercising.
You're exercising. Bouncing up and down on her seat.
And plus, I know the soundbite you're going to play, too.
No, it's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite one of, I guess, the last year and a half. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour news.
Here is the latest. It's primary night in California, and the two big races are for mayor of LA and governor. Of course, there are other races that people will be voting on. Voters in Monterey Park could be the first to permanently ban data centers in their city. We will have more at the bottom of the hour, heading to the 60 next.
Seller's Advantage. If you're looking to sell your home, you call Seller's Advantage, and they're going to make you a cash offer to buy your house as is. No need for repairs. As is for cash. They close in days. They may offer a $10,000 advance to help you move. Go read their reviews online. Call for a no obligation offer. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-2747. SellersAdvantage.com.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658 and Providence Realty DRE number 01915212.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, high 70s to low 90s. This report brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 60 in Diamond Bar.
Eastbound side of the 60, right at Diamond Bar Boulevard, a vehicle spun out, and you'll find that vehicle facing the wrong direction in the right lane. And the E60, a slow ride from Nogales to the 71. South 605 at Telegraph Road, you have a car that broke down here, and this one's blocking the left lane. Expect delays starting at Beverly Boulevard. Near downtown, 110 northbound at Adams, an SUV ran out of gas. That vehicle's now in the right-hand lane, north 110, heading to downtown. You're slow from Gage Avenue to Stadium Way. The Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Mike Morris.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This report is sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem Blue Cross and Chicas Verdes are helping students throughout Los Angeles learn how to grow and prepare their own healthy food. They're joined by Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/Sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in the greater LA area without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in the greater LA area for free. That's right. We'll give you 2 free tickets when you text EARN to 64,000. The greater LA area is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in the greater LA area and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text EARN to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text EARN to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text EARN to 64,000.
Voters are listening to the radio. Tons of them. If you're running for office, radio is where people are actually tuned in, not swiping past ads. Connect with communities everywhere and get on the air in just 48 hours. Visit winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm's sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm, they make sleep easy.
All right, your tanning bed. I guess people are still doing the tanning beds. Kind of gross.
Tim Conway Jr.
They've got to be filthy.
When you sat down or lay down in it, you could kind of feel the slurge.
So we got
what?
The what?
The slurge.
What's the slurge? It's over.
I booked the slurge.
It's over.
I have a 2 o'clock in the slurge.
Tomorrow night, 6 to 10 on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network and Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Hey, it's Conway Show. I'll be on noon to 3 today, so stay tuned for that. Then John Kobylt will come in. He'll be on till 7 o'clock. Then Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman will be on from 7 until they have some kind of decision on these elections. That's all today on KFI.
Right, which will be the 4th of July. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Moist line. 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. Use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app for Friday. Yeah, it's election day. And what I was saying before Deborah's news, I am very frustrated and aggravated by the times that we're living in, because it used to be I understood 2 different, let's say 2 or more different philosophies on how to deal with a problem, right? Let's say you're dealing with Poor people. I'm going to be very generic here so you get my point. Dealing with poor people. Okay, there have been two basic philosophies. A democratic liberal philosophy is we should give them as much government assistance as possible to get them back on their feet. Okay, there's one. The other one, the Republicans said, hey, why don't we expand the economy by giving tax breaks to businesses so that they can hire more people, and the more jobs that we have, the more those poor people can work, and that's how they get to prosperity. Prosperity on a personal basis comes from willingness to work. Giving them welfare makes them dependent. Whatever side you're on, right? It's a pretty clear issue, two different political philosophies about helping people who don't have much money. Somehow that morphed into, there's a political position on, for example, potholes. I don't know why, but if you say, I think we ought to fill potholes because I'm getting 3 front end alignments a year and it's costing me $2,000. That is basic services. That's not political services. That's we all paid for the road. The road has big holes in it. The city should be filling the road, but they don't. Same thing with the sidewalks. I can't walk the dog, push a stroller. People are tripping and falling, then suing the city for millions of dollars. Why? Again, sidewalks, that's a community issue. We all pulled money together, and then we have smooth roads, smooth sidewalks, which they have in most places. Police department, right? Lots of bad guys. They never go away. I'm not even going to fight about how long you should put a prisoner away. I'm just saying, in order to prevent crime, you need a police presence around town. But in areas where they have a police presence, there's less crime because bad guys don't want to be caught. I don't know how that became a political issue. It shouldn't be. It's like, I want to feel safe. I want the police not only to respond to crimes, but to prevent crime by being present and by enforcing the law faithfully. That's another thing. It became political as to whether you enforce the law or not. It's like, no. If that's the law, enforce the law. You can change the law because you have a different philosophy, but until you change the law, enforce the law because that's the will of the people, a will of the vast majority, sometimes 80, 90%. Right? Same thing with the fire. Who thought that funding the fire department would be political? Who thought that trying to stop theft would be political? That I don't want people injecting drugs on the streets. Whoa, it sounds like a MAGA thing. No! You've seen what happens. All those things are disasters. But you know what the biggest disaster that Karen Bass committed was when she was warned for days not to leave Los Angeles. And she went to Africa anyway. She was told really bad winds, very, very high likelihood of a bad fire. And she snuck out. She hardly told anyone. You should read that book I told you, Jonathan Vigliotti, called Torched. Multiple sources said Bass had warnings. She went anyway. When she finally got caught and the Palisades finally burned, a day later she comes back. Listen to the next 90 seconds or so. You tell me after hearing this, knowing that she was fully warned and decided to go anyway and didn't tell anybody, you tell me why she deserves another vote. Listen to this.
Citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning. Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Walking through the airport.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Still walking through the airport. Just landed from Africa. Military plane, right? Yeah. Still nothing. Why would you vote for this?
Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
Hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down?
90 seconds. Lands, steps off the plane. By the way, that was not an LA reporter. God forbid somebody in Los Angeles would do that. Nobody. There's nobody in Los Angeles that would do that. It's Daily Mail reporter for a London paper. How come the London paper has a journalist following her around saying, "What the hell? Why'd you go to Africa?" Not one LA, California journalist. Not one. Why? Oh, she's a woman? Oh, she's a person of color? So she gets a pass. She could burn down the Palisades. But she's a member of certain classes that the media protects. I'm just astonished by that tape over and over and over again. Now, I understand if you're a parasite, you're a member of a city union, you're voting because you don't give a crap if the city burns. And for those of you not in the Palisades, you're saying, well, it didn't happen by me. I don't know why you're caring. What do you think's going to happen when there's an earthquake? Think she's going to have a plan in place? What do you think's going to happen? People who live along the coast, what do you think's going to happen when the flooding that comes? That could be all over. That could be all over the city. When the riot that we have every few years, when that happens, we saw with during Garcetti and George Floyd riots, there wasn't anybody protecting the small business owners. They burned all those Jewish businesses in the Fairfax district. Didn't realize that was a precursor of what was going to come for the poor Jewish people. I don't know. I'm just astonished that after that minute and a half, she should have been fired. She should have been fired, and should have been put in jail. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
It is primary night here in California, and the two big races are, of course, for mayor of LA and governor. ABC's Alex Stone says in the race for governor, Javier Becerra is leading in the polls.
There are 61 candidates on the ballot for governor. Democratic climate activist Tom Steyer and Fox News host Steve Hilton are also polling toward the top.
He says right now it looks like it could be two Democrats, but Hilton is trying to take one spot so one Republican would move forward. Voter Robin Clay says he made sure to read up on all the candidates in the races for governor and mayor of LA.
It's extremely important to vote, especially in the more local elections, because those are the ones that have the most impact on us in our everyday lives.
6 states are holding primary elections today, including California. Voters in Monterey Park could be the first to permanently ban data centers in their city.
Measure NDC, if approved, would prohibit all data centers within city limits. It could then only be overturned by another vote. It comes after a 247,000 square foot data center was proposed for a residential area of Monterey Park in 2024. Since then, it has faced pushback from many residents who are worried about several issues, including water and electricity use, noise and air pollution, and the proximity to homes. Residents are fighting similar proposals in other parts of Los Angeles County, including in Vernon and the City of Industry. I'm Daniel Martindale.
A memorial has been unveiled in Virginia to honor those killed in a mid-air collision over the Potomac River. 67 people died in January of last year when a commuter plane collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter while trying to land at Reagan National Airport. The city worked with members of the community and the victims' families to create the memorial site overlooking the river. It includes benches, signage, and trees dedicated to those killed. And a chatbot has helped hackers take over Instagram accounts.
A flaw in Meta's AI-powered customer support system has allowed hackers to seize control of accounts
by simply convincing a chatbot to help him do it. The chatbot replaced an account's registered email address with one under the hacker's control. Once the change was approved, attackers could request password reset codes and lock legitimate users out. Victims include the Obama White House, Sephora, and a U.S. Space Force affiliated account. Meta says the issue's been resolved and hacked accounts have been secured. Cybersecurity experts say one of the most effective ways to prevent account takeovers is to enable multi-factor authentication. Amy King, KFI News.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny. Highs low 70s to low 80s, Metro LA and Inland OC. Mid 80s to low 90s in the valleys, the high desert in the IE. Windy in the high desert in the IE again. Low 70s for the beaches. Right now, 74 in Laguna Woods, 75 Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 10 in Ontario.
Not far from the airport on the East 10 before Vineyard Avenue. It's a four-vehicle collision clearing off the right-hand shoulder, but this stretch of the East 10 slow going from Euclid down to Cherry Avenue. Also in the IE on the 15 northbound just past the 10, a two-vehicle accident should be on the right shoulder, but this stretch of the North 15 slow going from Limonite up to Foothill Boulevard. In Anaheim Hills, 91 eastbound just beyond Lakeview Avenue, a stall vehicles blocking the right fast-track lanes, and the East 91 stop and go from the 57 to Green River. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Have you checked the value of your used car lately? GiveMeTheVin.com wants to buy your car, your daily driver, pickup truck, SUV, minivan, exotic. If Give Me the VIN doesn't beat a deal from CarMax or Carvana, they'll pay you $100. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com and enter your car's VIN or license plate number. You'll get an offer in minutes, well above any dealer quote. Go to one of their pickup locations, or they'll come to you. It's easy. It's fast. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Ad paid for by JobsPack, a bipartisan coalition of California employers sponsored by the California Chamber of Commerce, top funder Edison International and affiliated entities. This advertisement was not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate. Some people run for office to get rich on the backs of taxpayers. Retired Colonel Tom Umberg is running for Board of Equalization to hold them accountable. 3 overseas deployments. Army Special Operations paratrooper. Served in Afghanistan and here in the Bronze Star doing it. Back home, he prosecuted sex offenders and took on white-collar fraud. As a state senator, he returned hundreds of millions of tax dollars to our community. Decade after decade, one thing has never changed. Tom Umberg fights for accountability, and he fights for us. Vote Colonel Tom Umberg. Use of retired Colonel Tom Umberg's military rank and job titles does not imply endorsement by the Department of the Army or the Department of Defense.
Life can change in an instant. One accident and suddenly you're dealing with pain, confusion, and a lot of uncertainty about what happens next. That's where Sweet James comes in. And they understand the physical, emotional, and financial toll an accident can take. This is what they deal with every day. When you call Sweet James, you're putting a team in your corner that handles the legal fight so you can focus on getting your life back together. They can't guarantee or predict the outcome of any case, but if you've been hurt in a car, trucking, motorcycle accident, this is not something you ought to handle alone. Go get Sweet James by your side. You can get a free consultation at 800-9-MILLION. 800-9-MILLION. Go to sweetjames.com. With offices throughout California, including Los Angeles. You go see the guys over at Sweet James. 800-9-MILLION. 800-9-000-000 or sweetjames.com.
Having car problems that won't go away? If your vehicle's been in the shop 2 or more times for the same issue, you may qualify for a refund, replacement, or cash compensation. You pay nothing, the manufacturer covers the fees. Go to refundyourlemon.com. It takes just 2 minutes. That's refundyourlemon.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in L.A.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
This is Jacob Emrani.
When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
It's the Marketer's Report. In this edition, Monica Tam, head of brand media for DoorDash, talks about audio's connection to daily rituals.
Audio plays a really important role. It's actually an opportunity for DoorDash to be part of the consumer's day beginning to end. As an example, there's daily rituals that you do, commuting to and from home, dropping off kids, in between walking the dog, going to the gym, doing chores just at home, got a podcast or diving to your favorite music. In all of those moments, which are like usually a screen-free environment, you've got actually a very attentive consumer, and you have an opportunity to actually influence a decision that they might be doing in the next moment.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to all the audiences, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow, and all guaranteed human. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Today,
we don't have real oversight over the hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's primary night on KFI.
AM 640. I'm the look-around candidate. Use your own eyes.
KFI brings you live election night coverage.
People would like to stay in California. We have to make it so they can afford it.
With Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill beginning at 7 p.m. Listen live on KFI AM 640 on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. And we're on today, a special extra hour. We're on from 3 to 7. And normally it's 3 to 6. And we're live on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/@JohnKobylt Show, subscribe and become a member. And you can watch us live on YouTube. And we're also on the iHeartRadio app, the podcast, John Kobylt Show on Demand. And that will get released, I guess, after 7 today, right? Not just after 6, but after 7.
Yes.
All right. All right. So I was talking about this with Conway last hour, because Conway did the 12 to 3 show today, because Chris Merrill is going to do tonight with Gary Hoffman. And I don't know what happened among us.
He's on vacation.
He didn't get arrested, did he?
No, not that I know of. I mean, who knows what happens on vacation?
As far as we know, he was not arrested. That was some other story. In any event, nothing personal, Deborah. I know to a large extent you have to read what the editors give you, right?
Yeah. What did I read that you didn't like?
It's these betting stories on the election.
Oh, the poly market.
The poly market.
Well, one of our reporters actually did the story. I mean, he was asked to do it.
I understand. I'm not holding anybody on the air personally responsible.
I know.
And it's on all the newscasts everywhere. It's on the cover of the California Post. And you know how much I love the California Post.
Yes, I do.
So this is not an indictment of any single person. This is an indictment of the world. There is no value on Election Day. If you are putting out content, news content, there is zero value into who is winning in a betting market. A betting market news, that's not a poll. That is not a day of poll or a poll that covered the last week or month. It is not an exit poll. It is not anything. It is just whatever losers and whack jobs around the world who bet on everything. If they see two cockroaches racing each other, they're going to bet. It's people with gambling issues, all right? I mean, serious gambling issues. So you've got people who are in some way, and most of them will admit to this, are highly unstable. And so now they're betting on what the outcomes are going to be. And on top of that, it's being presented like that not who's good, who are they betting on who's likely to survive this first round, right? 2 out of the 3. But the story is, who do they think is going to win in November? Well, it's June. How could anyone... I don't understand anybody who's going to bet on that or predict on that or whatever. There's a really important campaign to run. There are a lot of enormous issues. The issues are so big that people a lot of people I know, and I am not exaggerating this, are wrestling whether to stay in Los Angeles any longer or not. Some of them have already made the decision to leave, at least for half the year, to get out of the California income tax situation. I mean, if you're going to go and uproot your life for at least 6 months, there's got to be a payoff. And the payoff is then you don't have to pay California income tax. I mean, when I think of all the conversations I've had, and just in the last few weeks, I told you Memorial Day weekend, I saw a bunch of people that I hadn't seen in a while, no casually. All of them wanted to talk about the mayor's race, Spencer Pratt, specifically, on the west side, okay? So I'm in the heart of left-wing land. And they're all talking about Spencer Pratt. And I don't know what that means. But there's more meaning to that than there is on who's winning the Poly Market poll. It's just people betting. People make a lot of bad bets. And as time goes on, they'll change their bets. They'll switch sides. I can't imagine. It's an interesting side story, right? It's an interesting story at the tail end of the 5 o'clock news, right before 6 o'clock. Oh, there's a new big industry going on, making billions of dollars. People are betting on, they're betting on the turtles over at the zoo. They're also betting on the political race. It has no significance as to who's going to win tonight or in the next 3 weeks. None, zero. And what the thing is, there's only so many polls. The polls are inconclusive. Many polls are wrong. And so rather than cover, another 6 people dying in the streets, another couple of dozen fires set by the homeless, another set of crimes that happened but weren't reported to the police or the police didn't want to come. Rather than do that, today I've been treated to constant stories about Poly Market, Kelsey. And I'm thinking, has everybody gone insane? Because they present it like, well, Karen Bass has a 67% chance of winning and Spencer Pratt 13. Well, that's beyond absurd. But they make it sound like it's 67% of the vote. And Pratt has 13. I guarantee you, people listening casually who don't know what Poly Market and Kalshi are, they do not understand what they're saying. Oh my God, Karen Bass is winning 67-13. Really? How could that be? And what happened to Anthony? I mean, why would all the news media give out those kind of numbers and present them in the way they do? Instead, I'd like to know. At least I go on Twitter. At least there's some political insiders who are saying, well, the Democrats are down 2% in returning the ballots so far. The Republicans are up 4% or whatever the numbers are. And so maybe that indicates that, because somehow everybody's aligned Pratt with Republicans instead of Pratt's the guy who thinks we shouldn't have naked people in the street and we shouldn't have guys taking a crap on your lawn. Somehow it's that he's a Republican or and it's so stupid. But of course it's stupid. It's stupid to be talking about betting markets. All this stuff is stupid. And this is how we got here. This didn't happen a day. I'd say it took about 10 years to destroy this place, to actively, progressively destroy the place. And I'm emphasizing the word progressive. 10 years. 10 years of the news not covering what it should have covered every day. And I hold everybody in the news media here in LA responsible. You guys really don't care if the place goes to hell? And then people move out and people with money move out and your listenership or your viewership declines. And, it's been replaced by a lot of poor people who aren't watching your newscast anymore because they don't speak the language you're speaking. And then your company lays you off and the newsroom shrinks. And they're starting to cancel newscasts. Oh, I really hate the state of the business these days. Well, your state of the business didn't cover 1,000 ways that the people running the city destroyed the city. You didn't do that. And so people lost interest in your newscasts. Your newscasts weren't lining up with what they were seeing with their own eyes, and a lot of people decided to pack up and go. And yeah, so you and your friends are losing your jobs in the media because you didn't do your jobs for 10 years. Why should somebody pay you $500,000 a year to anchor news that has nothing to do with what people are seeing with their own eyes. I got to take a break. Hey, there's 3.5 more hours of this. Deborah Mark they want to put me on for an extra hour. They're going to get an extra hour.
I'm glad I'm not going to be here.
Are you tired
I'm
of me?
Kidding.
Are you tired of me, Renee?
No, I would never say that.
You never say that, but that's what
I would never feel that.
Jeez.
No, it was a joke. It was bad. It was in poor taste.
This is how women get a bad name. They turn on you like that.
Okay, we can talk about guys turning on people too.
No.
Or we could do the news.
And we are running late. So.
Okay.
Here's the latest. I'm doing it. LA County voters will decide whether to approve a temporary half-cent sales tax. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says President Trump's so-called anti-weaponization fund is being scrapped. We'll have more at the top of the hour, going to the 4:05 next.
Summer's heating up, but your wallet doesn't have to. And this June, American Vision Windows is offering no interest, no payments for 2 years on new windows and doors. You pay nothing until 2028. New windows don't just help you beat the heat. They lock in your comfort year-round, lower your energy bills, and give your home a stunning upgrade that your neighbors will notice. American Vision Windows is 100% employee-owned, which means every person on your project has a personal stake in getting it right. After 25 years and over 1 million windows installed, that accountability has made us the most trusted name in window replacement. Most jobs are done in just a day. Beautiful new windows by evening, 0 payments until 2028, and the offer ends June 30th. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see website for details. What is that website? Glad you asked. AmericanVisionWindows.com or call 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Stall on the 405 in Sherman Oaks.
It's on the northbound side of the 405 right at Sherman Way. It's a disabled big rig and it's blocking the slow lane. North 405, first you have delays from Culver Boulevard up to Nordhoff, and then you're slow again between the 118 and 5 freeways. And speaking of the 5, the Golden State Freeway heading northbound, a slow ride from the East LA interchange up to the 2, the Glendale Freeway. Up ahead at the Newhall Pass on the 5 northbound transition to the 14 northbound, and the vehicle with a flat tire blocking this connector road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The blockbuster trade that brought pass rusher Myles Garrett to the Rams was reportedly years in the making, with the team's first call to Cleveland in 2022. The Dodgers will continue their series in Arizona tonight, hoping to get back into the win column after dropping the opener. NBA star Steph Curry has a new endorsement deal with Chinese shoemaker Li Ning, expanding his Curry brand venture globally. I'm Frank Garrity.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
Escape the city at the all-new Hard Rock Casino Tejon, just an easy drive from downtown LA. Play your favorites across over 2,000 slot machines, plus baccarat, blackjack, roulette, and craps. Enjoy live entertainment and exceptional dining. Must be 21 or older. Concerned about your gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that there are lots of things that can make your engine light come on, besides your engine. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's technicians are specially trained to diagnose what's causing your engine light to come on and fix it, no matter what it is. Keep your eyes on the road and your ears open for another episode of AMCO's Bet You Didn't Know.
AA MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Hey, commercial contractors, got 5 trucks on the road today? Let's talk about getting to 50. Service Titan, the all-in-one software for the trades, helps you scale smarter, faster, and more profitably. Take control of your growth at ServiceTitan.com. That's ServiceTitan.com.
Are you retired or close to retirement? Last year, the S&P was up about 16%. Gold, 65%. Silver, almost 150%. Get a free information kit on adding gold or silver to an IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. GoldenCrestMetals.com. 833-362-3843.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show, we'll have all of the latest numbers of the election returns from our primary election coverage and what it means going forward. Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The John Kobylt Show. Follow us on social media at John Kobylt Radio, at John Kobylt Radio, and we are live on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. And we've been, I just been getting a lot of frustrations off my chest about the state of the city and the state. I mean, we just shouldn't be here. And I had a couple of long drives today. I'm just rolling around all this in my head. And I'm thinking, what does it take for people to vote based on current living conditions rather than the party they belong to? Like, what does it take before somebody says, you know what? Things here are not good and they can be fixed, and the people in charge are responsible for a lot that's wrong. I don't know. People, you tell that to people, and there's a lot of partisan people walking around, and they get very, very defensive, and they'll say, well, what about, and usually it's something about Trump, which is so absurd, because if I've got a guy shooting up fentanyl at my kid's park, I don't think Trump tossed him out of the White House limousine. And that whole act is getting so tired and so repetitive and so stupid. And how this huge infrastructure, huge expensive infrastructure was built to coddle and protect and enable the guy shooting fentanyl in your kid's park. It's actually astonishing. I'll hand it to the progressives. They did a tremendous amount of manipulation, emotional manipulation, of bullying, of creating this network of money laundering. You know, they emotionally manipulate people into paying taxes for a problem that never should have been allowed to metastasize the way it did. You never had to have the homelessness blow into 75,000. 75,000. Somebody wrote today, do you know you could fit, if you stuffed all the homeless in LA County into Dodger Stadium, you'd have to stuff the rest of them who didn't get a seat into the crypto arena because there's 75,000 homeless people. It would fill Dodger Stadium and the crypto arena, every seat. That's how bad it is. And they came in from out of town. 2/3 are from out of town. And somehow everybody was brainwashed and manipulated into feeling like we owed them everything. We owed them food. We owed them a house. We owed them needles and meth pipes. You imagine that you are working so that some skinny, ravaged-looking drug addict can inject fentanyl in his brain or snort meth into his system, and you are being browbeaten, emotionally manipulated, and taxed to pay for his syringe, to pay for his meth pipe, and provide all his food, and you're supposed to build him a home at $1 million a pop. And you went for it. Tens, hundreds of thousands, millions of people in the city and state, millions went for that deal. You, who work all day, get nothing. They, who spend the day snorting and injecting, running around naked, screaming, they get all their drug supplies. Now we find out they get the drugs from the nonprofits as well. We're financing the drugs. We're financing the paraphernalia. We're giving them their food. We're giving them their medical treatment. We're giving them their home. And if we don't do that, we're bad. This is the greatest heist I've ever seen. And how come everyone doesn't see it? How come they end up arguing about all kinds of nonsense? I don't know. What a species we've got. We got Tony Strickland coming on next. The state senator, he's coming on right at 4 o'clock. All right, I'll tell you all about it when we come back. So be on the other side. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Last chance to vote. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Voters are out and about this primary election day. KFI's Brigida D'Agostino is live in Woodland Hills.
Hi there, Deborah. I'm at Pierce College, and I've been speaking to voters all day. So far, everybody here is voting Republican, including Melvin Spicer. Here's what he had to say.
Steve Hilton, because I believe he's a patriot. He's conservative. He's from the UK. I've always liked him, even when he was on Fox News.
Most people so far say they're concerned with how the local leadership has responded to the wildfires and homelessness. Brigida D'Agostino, KFI News.
Primary night in California is, of course, a big one. And one of the big races is for LA mayor. ABC's Alex Stone says it could be days before there are firm answers with so many mail-in ballots being sent in.
Karen Bass, her former ally Nithya Raman, and Spencer Pratt, the former reality star, are very close in the polling numbers. Bass is leading by a hair, even though her favorability in office has not been good.
He says among the main issues are crime, homelessness, and wildfire response. Looks like the smart money's on LA Mayor Bass to get reelected.
Polymarket, the world's biggest prediction market, gives LA Mayor Bass a 67% chance of winning the race. She's way out ahead of reality show personality Spencer Pratt, who only has a 23% chance, and City Councilwoman Nithya Raman, who has a 13% chance. Polymarket says more than $5.2 million has been traded on the market as of this morning. The California Post says the prediction market doesn't forecast vote share. Instead, its prices reflect what traders are willing to pay for contracts tied to each candidate's chances of ultimately winning the election. Mark Rauner, KFI News.
Voters in LA County will decide whether to approve a temporary half-cent sales tax to help pay for health care services because of reductions in state and federal funding. LA County supervisors voted to put Measure ER on the ballot. It would increase the sales tax a half cent for 5 years, ending in October of 2031. The county says it would generate $1 billion a year. The county sales tax is currently at 9.75%. If approved, it would go up to 10.25%. The news is brought to you by Sellers Advantage. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says President Trump's so-called anti-weaponization fund is being scrapped. The administration had said the $1.8 billion fund would be used to compensate alleged targets of political persecution under the former Biden administration. But Blanche says they are not moving forward with it.
The reasons for the fund, I think, it remain as important as they were before, but we are not moving forward with the fund.
The fund has been held up in the courts while courts try to determine if it is legal. Democrats and Republicans say President Trump's new director of national intelligence, Bill Pulte, seems unqualified with no national security experience. President Trump says Pulte will stay director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency and chair of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac while filling in for Tulsi Gabbard, who quit last month. Republican Senators Tom Tillis of North Carolina, Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, and John Cornyn of Texas say that he lacks qualifications to be DNI. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren says Pulte abused his authority as housing finance director and said, what could go wrong? We're going to go to the 5 next.
All right, Byrna, B-Y-R-N-A. They want to get you prepared for summer. They're offering $100 off the Byrna LE Gen 2. You go to Byrna.com for this deal while supplies last. BYRNA.com. You might already own a firearm, but you pull that trigger, and now you got all kinds of financial, legal, and emotional issues. There's a smarter option. Byrna. Because the FBI says less than 0.01% of all altercations require a lethal response. Everybody may have a safety plan that includes firearms, but that's only necessary way less than 1% of the time. With Byrna, no permits or background checks needed. The Byrna launcher has powerful deterrents like tear gas and kinetic rounds with a 60-foot range. One shot can incapacitate a bad guy for up to 40 minutes. Byrna is offering you $100 off the Byrna LE Gen 2. Go to Byrna.com, BYRNA.com, and get yours while supplies last. Byrna.com.
Southland weather from KFI. The low clouds and fog are back again tomorrow morning. Then it will be sunny. Highs low 70s to low 80s, Metro LA and inland OC. Mid 80s to low 90s in the valleys, the high desert and the IE. Windy in the high desert and the IE again. Low 70s for the beaches. Right now, 74 in Tustin, 64 Laguna Beach, 81 in Chatsworth, at 79 in Van Nuys. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supersure, supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 229. S&P 500 up 10. NASDAQ up 7. Crash on the 5 in Pacoima.
Northbound side of the Golden State Freeway before the 118 is a vehicle collision tying up one of the middle lanes. 5 northbound, you have delays from the East LA interchange up to the 2, the Glenville Freeway, and then approaching the scene of the accident, you're slow again from Tuxford up to the 118 Ronald Reagan Freeway. In Downey on the 605 southbound just before the 5, the Santa Ana Freeway, a pickup truck and a big rig tangle. This accident's clearing off the right shoulder. South 605 slow going from Valley Boulevard down to Telegraph Road. Also a slow ride heading to downtown on the 110 northbound. You're stop and go from Sepulveda Boulevard up to the 5. Up ahead on the Pasadena Freeway, 110 northbound approaching Marmion Way. A car broke down. You'll find that vehicle in the right lane. 91 eastbound past Imperial Highway, a vehicle with a flat tire has cleared from the fast track lanes, but the East 91 through OC, you're slow from the 57 to the 241 toll road. Downtown San Bernardino, 215 northbound before Inland Center Drive is a stalled vehicle tying up one of the left-hand lanes. Expect a backup on the North 215 from Ramona Expressway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
You know what your customers are doing right this second? The exact same thing you are, listening to me. Which, let's be honest, is kind of flattering. But my point is, ads on iHeartRadio actually get heard. In the car, at the gym, on the couch, while people are walking their dogs. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. That's right. You're a good boy. So why not make the next ad about you? Get started today. Call 844-844-iHeart or go to iHeartAdvertising.com. That's 844-844-iHeart or iHeartAdvertising.com.
Have you tried Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro but still feel stuck? Many patients lose some weight on injections only to plateau while still struggling with obesity, sleep apnea, reflux, diabetes, or joint pain. Plus, monthly medication costs can add up. And many people regain weight after stopping treatment. West Medical's bariatric surgery might just provide the long-term solution you've been looking for. Schedule your free consultation at 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Keep listening
listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
This September, coming back to Las Vegas, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com.
But starting June 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet?
KFI AM 640. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We are on live from 3 to 6 every day at KFI. Also stream that way as well. And on the iHeartRadio app, it's a podcast after 6, John Kobylt Show on demand. Live also on YouTube at John Kobylt Show, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. You subscribe, become a member. Okay, we're on an extra hour today till 7 o'clock. And then tonight it's going to be Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill starring in whatever election returns dribble in. All right, we're going to talk now to Tony Strickland, the state senator down in the Huntington Beach area. And there is more high-speed rail bad news. They have a new chairman of the board for the high-speed rail project, an old Newsom lackey named Steve Kawa, K-A-W-A. And Kawa has been working with Gavin Newsom for decades, according to Ashley Zavala, the reporter up in Sacramento. He's been managing the Protocol Foundation, which fundraises and helps pay for the governor out-of-state trips. And now he's chairman of the board of high-speed rail. How about that? As the money laundering operation, as the crime scam continues, let's go to Tony Strickland. Tony, how are you?
I'm good, John. Thanks for having me, as always.
Yeah, this guy, Kawa, I never heard of him, but obviously he's a real important figure in Newsom's world.
Well, everything Newsom's touched, from mayor of San Francisco, he destroyed San Francisco. Where we are in California, it's the first time since the gold rush, more people are leaving the state than coming in. And this guy has no major transportation project experience whatsoever. And he's been the right-hand guy for Gavin Newsom. So, what do we have to worry about? I mean, the guy's been, Newsom's destroyed everything he's touched. And now they're just trying to put lipstick on a pig, just trying to move forward on this high-speed fail. Remind everybody that it started out as a $33 billion project from LA to San Francisco. Now that's $231 billion and counting, because none of that $231 billion counts for 1 penny of borrowing. And everybody knows when you borrow money, you have to pay more money back.
What, did they ever really care about building it, or was this just at least a 20-year project to feed the unions?
It looks like a slush fund to me. To me, it looks like a slush fund because they're wasting billions of dollars. Now they just passed a bill, AB 1608, that's moving through that, it says anything that reveals any weakness to this project allows it to be secret, because we've exposed the wasteful spending, the fact that there was a change order, the largest change order in history, over $1 billion, and now they want to make everything less transparent, for obvious reasons. And even the Inspector General, when they came out with their new plan, said this is unrealistic, the business plan, and that's their Inspector General. And it said it had a lack of funding and a lack of cash flow. This project, everybody knows in Sacramento, will never be built as proposed to people of California. And I've been calling for years now to defund the high-speed rail. My dad always taught me, when you dig a hole for yourself, the best way to get out of that hole is to stop digging. Let's stop wasting billions of dollars.
Right, but their intent is not to build the rail. Their intent is they shovel all this money at the unions. The union workers get paid. The union leaders skim off their share, and then they feed it back in campaign donations. So it's just a circle of corruption. Why would they ever want to stop that if the people don't force them to?
And at some point, the people need to wake up. And we're talking right now today on Election Day. If you like what job Karen Bass is doing, right, you have an option now with Spencer Pratt. And I'm pushing really hard. We were with Steve Hilton this morning. The definition of insanity is voting for these same people over and over again, expecting a different result.
I am overwhelmed sometimes on how easy it is to scam the public and, again, emotionally manipulate them. Everybody got stars in their eyes 17 years ago when they thought they were going to have a super cool, futuristic, high-speed train, 2 hours, 20 minutes, LA to San Francisco. And now, after 17 years of daily evidence that this thing is a criminal racket, there still is no momentum to pull the plug because the public's not demanding it.
Well, I'm hopeful that whoever the next governor is will pull the plug once and for all.
Hilton will, yeah.
Hopeful.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big reason to vote for Steve Hilton. He's going to pull the plug, and he said so up front.
Yep, exactly. And look at like someone like Nick Shirley. He uncovers a lot of fraud. Instead of the government coming in and saying thanking him, they're trying to pass a bill to make it where you can't investigate fraud in California. It's unbelievable. That's why we need a new attorney general as well as Michael Gates, because we need to prosecute these people, unlike what Rob Bonta's doing and allowing them to, fleece the people of California.
Let me ask you about the bill that you mentioned a few minutes ago, which is supposed to keep all the high-speed rail business a secret if it contains negative news. How could that possibly be legal if that's our tax money financing this? I mean, that
honestly,
cannot
John,
be
I don't think
legal.
it's legal. I think it is illegal, but these guys don't care. They pass, and then we have to take it to court, and it takes time to go to court. In that time, they keep, all this stuff, hidden.
Let's say,
lack of transparency. We need to challenge it every step of the way.
Let's say they passed the law, and then you leaked some negative information that's truthful about the high-speed rail. What are they going to do to you? Are they going to arrest you? What's the crime here?
I believe they'll fine you. They'll arrest you, and then you have to spend your money hiring a lawyer to defend yourself.
So you, Tony Strickland, could get arrested as a representative for letting the public know how the high-speed rail money is being wasted. That doesn't sound like that's constitutional, legal, any of that.
It's not. It's not. I don't think it is constitutional, but I called that out. You remember we were on talking about, these masks. They said they were going to put the mask on ICE agents, and I called it out and said, this is totally unconstitutional. We won in court. No one really reported it other than you, but we won in court, and now they're coming back with another bill to try to do it again. When we all know that we have in the state government, we have no federal authority, but they pass these laws anyway. Like people like Senator Wiener, they pass these laws anyway, and so now we have to challenge it in court. We win in court. And then they start over again, and then they do another bill. And then people, need to see what's going on here. I try to get this message out. You do, but again, almost 2/3 of Californians say we're on the wrong track. Don't vote for Javier Becerra or anybody else that will just continue down the same path.
Yeah. We're on the wrong track, but we're going to vote for an extension of the Newsom administration. All right, thank you, Tony Strickland. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Along those lines, 2/3 of the public in LA says Karen Bass, they disapprove of her job, the job that she's doing. 2/3 disapprove of her personally. So if you don't like her and you don't like the job she does, I assume those 2/3 are going to vote against her today, right? And we'll vote against her again in November if she makes it to the runoff. Otherwise, you're going to vote for somebody who you think is doing a bad job and that you don't like personally, but you'll give her a reward of 4 more years. Again, why? I don't understand anything. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Police in Bakersfield say they're dealing with an active bomb threat and hostage situation inside a bank. Voters have until 8 tonight to cast ballots in the primary election. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, heading over to the 4:05 next.
Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them until it's time for renewal. Your business runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risk. That's why I'm introducing SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like Fine Print Facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus, a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. Supersure.com. Supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 405 in Long Beach.
Not far from the Signal Hill area, 405 southbound, right at Cherry Avenue. It's a four-vehicle accident blocking the left lane. South 405, you're stop and go, leaving the west side, heading to Long Beach between Sunset Boulevard and Palo Verde. 91 eastbound before Wilmington Avenue. It's a two-vehicle collision. This one's on the right shoulder, but the East 91, it's solid delays from the 110 to the 710. 134 westbound before Hollywood Way. Watch for a steel frame that fell into the right lane of the roadway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by Capital One.
Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark and her coach Stephanie White got into an animated discussion during Indiana's loss to the Portland Fire on Saturday, causing rumors of a rift. But the duo said Monday there's no story. Said White, I was challenging a player. It's coaching. It's what it is. While Clark said of White, that's somebody I will ride for the rest of my life. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts. Capital One is a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase with the Capital One Venture X Business Card. Big purchasing power means you can spend more and earn more. The Capital One Venture X Business Card. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This report is sponsored by Alliant University. Be ready for when it's real.
At Alliant University, we educate you and prepare you for licensure and credentialing in therapy, social work, nursing, teaching, so that you're ready to take what drives you and make it real, like only you can. That's our community at work. Alliant.edu.
The next 3 years, LA will welcome the world with major events unmatched by any destination. This moment is bigger than sports. It's about the impact on our communities, businesses, and people. With the help of the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission foundational partners, Amgen, Archer Aviation, Kaiser Permanente, LA Tourism, and Metro, we're investing in the LA community and inspiring civic pride. Together, let's show the world why we love LA. To learn more about the FIFA World Cup coming this June, visit LosAngelesFWC26.com.
Save on picnic must-haves at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off cut watermelon chunks with Prime through June 2nd. Just grab a blanket and this ready-to-enjoy snack and go. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Stream the primary elections live on Fox Local on Fox One. Stay informed with breaking news, race updates, and results in real time. Fox One brings all your favorite Fox channels together. Stream now. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit fox.com.
Decisions determine results. So which path do I want to take? Help people in need or stand on the sidelines watching? Worry about how to pay for school or have my education paid for? Push myself and learn new skills or stay the same? My decision is to serve part-time with the Army National Guard, and my results will be life-changing. What will you decide? Go to NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters.
L&K's Therapy Thursday is a podcast. The stories are real, the drama is messy, and the advice is life-changing. Catch it now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts. L&K's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Yacht Rock Radio on iHeartRadio drops anchor and goes commercial-free every weekend. Weekends were made for smooth sailing. Yacht Rock Radio's got the soundtrack. Just sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy. The smoothest soft rock from the 70s and 80s.
You're the biggest part of me.
Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and set sail.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, the primaries are over. Now the real race begins. Who came out on top? Who's in trouble? What does it mean for the general election in November? Do you care? That's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 o'clock on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're on till 7 today. Extra hour. Conway already worked earlier, and tonight the election coverage is going to be anchored by Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman. We just had Tony Strickland on. talking about how there's a new guy running the who's running the board of directors at the California High-Speed Rail Project. He's some lackey named Steve Kawa. And I say lackey is he's been kissing Newsom's ass for over 20 years. He's currently managing the Protocol Foundation, which is the racket that fundraises, like shakes down corporations and helps pay for the governor's out-of-state trips. You know, when he goes bloviating to Europe on climate change conferences, you wonder who's paying for that? Well, it's corporations who want to be indebted to the governor so that the governor favors their bills. For example, favors any rate increases that PGA wants to use, because PGA needs money when they decide they need to kill another 85 people. The California High-Speed Rail Authority is now run by this guy, Kawa. And he was Newsom's chief of staff going all the way back to 2004 when Newsom was San Francisco's mayor from 2004 to 2008. And he's been doing something for Newsom ever since. Listen to this report from Ashley Zavala from KCRA Channel 3 about him taking over the board of high-speed rail.
Leadership shakeup at the California High-Speed Rail Board of Directors. Now, the board voted unanimously today for a new board chairman, Steve Kawa. We've been working to figure out what happened to the board's previous leader, Tom Richards.
Yeah, he had been on the board since 2010 and was board chairman since 2020. Our KCRA 3 political director, Ashley Zavala, was there for the vote. And you tried to speak with the board's new leader. Are they talking to you? What did he have to say?
Well, I mean, so for the second time in about a month, board leaders, project leaders, I should say, are dodging interviews with us. Governor Gavin Newsom abruptly appointed Steve Kawa to the board last month to replace Fresno developer Tom Richards as its leader. Kawa's career has been mainly in politics in San Francisco. He has worked in the San Francisco mayor's office under a few different leaders, including Gavin Newsom. He has worked with Newsom for decades. The board unanimously voted for him as the leader of the High-Speed Rail Authority's board of directors, and Kawa there vowed to move this embattled bullet train project forward. In the meeting today, the board specifically approved a $3.5 billion contract for track and systems to try to start laying down track this year. The board also approved a controversial business plan that will be in effect for the next 2 years.
Stop a second. So they were crafting a plan to try to start laying down track. They're not laying down track. They're not starting to. They're not just trying to. They're laying a plan so they could try to start laying down track. That's like three contingencies there. You have to have the plan, and then you have to try to just start. And again, this is for the all-important, well, it's a fake title, Bakersfield to Merced. It's not going, it's miles away from Bakersfield and miles away to Merced. So if you think there's very few people that would take this stupid thing from Bakersfield to Merced, there's literally zero people who are going to take it, I don't know, from 5 miles outside of Bakersfield to 5 miles outside of Merced. Like, what? They're just giving the money to the unions. These were 17 years of make-work jobs, building nothing, literally nothing. All the guys who got paid to build nothing. There's no train. But again, who are they going to vote for? They're going to vote for Becerra, who's vowed to keep the construction of the train going, or I say construction, it's like phantom, it's ghostly. There's ghosts building a phantom rail track. Play some more.
It includes proposals that would allow the state to take over land and tax money from local governments. It also proposes to allow the construction of data centers and battery storage facilities to help pay for the project. While again, these are just proposals, during the meeting, Kawa said it's important to be transparent about all of this.
I actually love this theme about communication. I've talked to a lot of you, and I've said in my 35 years in public service, a lot of issues and problems are a result of two things: miscommunication and a lack of communication. So I know the authority and Ian and the whole staff, as well as this board of directors, wants to make sure that we double down and triple down on communicating to our partners throughout the state of California.
Okay, so then we followed up on that. We asked High-Speed Rail Authority staff before the meeting started for an interview with Kawa. I also waited for Kawa after the meeting to talk. Here's what happened. Mr. Chair, do you have time to speak with us on camera? In that clip, Kawa is seen walking away with the High-Speed Rail Authority's chief spokesman, Peter Whippy. As we reported last month, Whippy, on behalf of California's High-Speed Rail CEO, Ian Chowdhury, Whippy tried to limit the questions we could ask the CEO in an interview. We would not agree, so that interview didn't happen last month. Meanwhile, we have reached out to Tom Richards repeatedly. He is the ex-chairman of the board. We've asked him for comment. We are still waiting to hear back from
Transparency.
The governor's talked a lot about transparency.
All right, cut it. Yeah. They're full of crap. Transparency. I hate that word. It's our money. It's our money. We gave the authorization for this thing. Transparency. Meantime, he can use that word, except the legislature is passing a bill to keep any bad news a secret. Any news that could be considered harmful to the project a secret. News that would cause the public to want to withdraw support. It is a criminal racket. And they just change. It's like changing, putting in a new mob boss. Now, who's leading the mob family? The old guy was retired, pushed aside. Maybe he got a bullet. Who's the new mob leader? And you know what? Catching him on this, it's like, you promised to double down on transparency. Now you're not answering questions. Well, of course he's not. They don't mean anything they say. It's just to have a sound bite for your TV camera. Of course they're not going to follow up and answer your questions. And how are you going to make them? The only way to make them is get a referendum on the ballot and vote to end this thing. Or vote out every jackass in government who supports this. It's a complete scam and a complete racket. How could it not be after 17 years? Oh, and they have a plan to try to start laying down tracks so that in 30 years, you'll have a train that runs from 5 miles outside Merced to 5 miles outside of Bakersfield that nobody's ever going to ride. And people put up with this. And why is this? It would really be such a frightening political statement to vote for a candidate who says, we're going to pull the plug on this thing. Like Hilton? I don't know. All right. Deborah Marks, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Police in Bakersfield have responded to a bank robbery and bomb threat. ABC's Melissa Adams says a guy in a Chase bank is making bomb threats.
Several city buildings in downtown Bakersfield are currently on lockdown. There is a massive police presence there with the SWAT team, FBI, negotiators.
Authorities are negotiating with the guy, trying to talk him into giving himself up. Voters in LA are deciding the city's next mayor in today's primary election. There are 14 candidates in the race, led by LA Mayor Bass, former reality TV personality Spencer Pratt, and City Councilwoman Nithya Raman. LA Magazine editor-in-chief of digital content, Alina Abovian, says it's the weirdest mayor's race ever.
This could shape how politics, takes place in years to come. And I think that we're all sort of in disbelief to see what's transpired so far.
Political analysts say the result may not even be known tonight. And if there's no outright winner, the top two will go to a runoff in November. LA voter Mariah Felty says she cast her ballot today because she sees it as being crucial.
It is the most important civic duty we have. You have to use it or you will lose it.
Analysts say it's unlikely there will be a declared winner tonight. The news is brought to you by American Vision Windows. Deliberations have started in the civil trial against socialite Rebecca Grossman and former Dodgers pitcher Scott Erickson for the deaths of two young brothers.
The Iskander family is seeking $439 million in damages following the deaths of their two young sons. Grossman is currently serving 15 years to life in state prison for hitting and killing the brothers in Westlake Village in 2020. Prosecutors say she was going about 80 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone at the time of the collision. She was allegedly street racing Erickson at the time after the pair had been out drinking. The jury, which heard closing arguments on Monday, will decide how much financial compensation, if any, should be awarded to the Iskander family. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
Thousands of cooks, bartenders, and other hospitality workers at SoFi Stadium are set to vote on whether to authorize a strike with the World Cup kicking off next week. The workers, represented by Unite Here Local 11, have been working without a contract for a year, and negotiations with the stadium's food service operator have stalled. The workers want more than $30 an hour and protections against subcontracting and job loss through automation. They're also protesting against FIFA's collection of sensitive private information. And we're just hearing now that R&B singer Peabo Bryson has died. Bryson is perhaps known for the Disney songs A Whole New World and Beauty and the Beast, for which he won back-to-back Grammys in 1993 and 1994. He also had a string of hits with Roberta Flack, including Tonight I Celebrate My Love. Peabo Bryson was 75. And a short seller is facing a long stretch.
Short seller and media personality Andrew Left has been found guilty of using social media posts to manipulate stocks. He was convicted of securities fraud after a 3-week trial in L.A. Left, who runs Citron Research, would bet that a company's stock price would fall, then make posts either criticizing or boosting companies before quickly closing out his trading positions. Prosecutors say he made at least $20 million that way between 2018 and 2023. He faces up to 25 years in prison when he's sentenced August 31st. Left said it was a free speech issue and he'll appeal. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny. Highs low 70s to low 80s. Metro LA and inland OC. Mid 80s to low 90s in the valleys, the high desert in the IE. Windy in the high desert in the IE again. And then we have low 70s for the beaches. Right now, 70 in San Juan Capistrano at 73 in Staten. Vehicle fire on the 405 in Costa Mesa.
It's on the southbound side of the 405, just before the 55 freeway junction. This vehicle fire is over on the right-hand shoulder. South 405 through Orange County is slow from the 73 down to the 133 Laguna Freeway. Also in OC, in Anaheim, 91 eastbound before the 57. A two-vehicle collision quickly cleared from the two right-hand lanes over to the right shoulder. That's causing reduced speeds between Brookhurst and Gypsum Canyon. Up ahead in Corona, 91 eastbound past the 15, an accident clearing off the right-hand side. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Looking for a checking account that has your back? At Premier America Credit Union, we're with you every step of the way. With Smart Spending Checking, there are no monthly or overdraft fees, ever. Set up direct deposit and get a $100 bonus. Plus, access over 30,000 fee-free ATMs and get paid up to 2 days early. Open today at premieramerica.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms apply.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars, and you're going to love GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Running a successful business is tough, especially when it comes to tracking sales performance, job costs, and employee productivity. Staying on top of daily operations, weekly goals, and long-term growth, even tougher. That's where ServiceTitan comes in. Smart commercial plumbing contractors across the country are using ServiceTitan's all-in-one platform to gain powerful, real-time insights into their operations. From revenue tracking and job costing to technician performance and customer satisfaction. It's like having your entire business crystal clear at your fingertips. But don't just take our word for it. Here is what some of ServiceTitan's current partners have to say.
ServiceTitan grows with you, right? Do you want an out-of-a-box, simple software, or do you want a software that's always growing, improving, looking for new things?
ServiceTitan has really aided us to take us from a small business to an enterprise.
ServiceTitan isn't just software. It's your business partner in growth. Your office staff will love it. Your techs will visual of it, and most importantly, your customers will notice the difference. Book your free demo today at ServiceTitan.com. That's ServiceTitan.com.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in LA.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Termites active? Call Pacific Coast Termite. No tenting, plus 10% off. Call 1-800-PACIFIC.
Today,
we don't have real oversight over the hundreds of millions of dollars.
it's primary night on KFI.
AM 640.
I'm the look-around candidate. Use your own eyes.
KFI brings you live election night coverage.
People would like to stay in California. We have to make it so they can afford it.
With Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill beginning at 7 p.m. Listen live on KFI AM 640 on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. The John Kobylt Show. We are on from 3 to 6. Today's 3 to 7. We have a bonus hour from 3 to 7. Rearranged the schedule to account for the election with Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman hosting tonight after 7 o'clock. And this is a one-day thing, obviously. We are on the iHeartRadio app. The podcast is going to be released tonight after 7 o'clock. And we are live on YouTube now. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show is where you can subscribe and become a member. Now, here's a new dirtbag who's been around a while, and I don't think we've ever discussed him. He's a California Democratic congressman from Los Angeles named Jimmy Gomez. I guess just a run-of-the-mill hack. I don't remember him popping up in the news very much that we discussed him. But Jimmy Gomez, listen to this story. He was seen kissing a political aide outside a backyard party in 2023. Do you know where this party was?
Where was this party, John?
Eric Swalwell's house.
Oh, God. Are you serious?
I'm serious. And he's not only kissing a woman who's not his wife, he's kissing a woman who's not even his political aide. It's somebody else's political aide. That's like double cheating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to screw around on your wife,
right.
Screw around with your own staff.
Yeah.
Don't take an aide from somebody. That's for
No, I think it would be worse. Actually, screwing around with your own aide on your own wife. Nah, that's bad.
You know who gets a shout out in the tongue bath desk is Jimmy Gomez.
That's the only time I heard his name.
I'm going to get to Jimmy Gomez in a second.
Oh, Garcetti.
Yes.
Garcetti was giving him a tongue bath.
Yes.
Or was Gomez giving Garcetti a tongue bath?
Oh, good question.
It could have gone both ways, so to speak. Gomez was spotted kissing an aide. And by the way, this story gets a lot further, so just hang on. Who worked for a different member of Congress. Now, it's not just a New York Post story. CNN has this today. The House Ethics Committee is now investigating Jimmy Gomez over allegations of sexual misconduct because while the committee was investigating this makeout session, they found out there's a whole lot of other stuff going on with Gomez. Looks like he and the Swalwell had a kinship there. So Gomez released a lengthy statement to CNN saying years ago, be 3 years ago, I made personal mistakes outside my marriage that have caused real pain to my wife and family. If you start screwing around with people, that happens inside your marriage because you are currently married. When you're married, your marriage jurisdiction extends everywhere. Am I right on this? I'm not a legal expert, but when you're married everywhere.
Yes.
You're not just, you leave the house, okay, I'm not married anymore.
You're correct on
right. So personal mistakes outside my marriage that caused real pain to my wife and family. He said, but now he says, I haven't violated any laws or any house ethics rules. Oh, so you're okay. You just screwed around on your wife, but he said he would cooperate with any ethics committee inquiry and provide it with whatever information it might need. Although my actions were consensual in nature. See, he doesn't want to be lumped in with Swalwell. That's right. The girls wanted it. They got what they asked for. It doesn't diminish the impact these mistakes have made on those that I care about the most. Yeah, he cares about the most, but he doesn't care that deeply. I take full responsibility and committed myself to working through the pain privately with my wife and family. I sought professional assistance to help recenter and heal the relationships that mean everything to me and move forward with honesty, transparency, and respect. Everybody's into transparency. Two lawmakers, not only Swalwell, but a Republican named Tony Gonzalez has also resigned because Gonzalez was screwing around with his staffers. I think he's from Texas, and the poor woman killed herself. So there's a lot of disgusting things going on in Washington. There's another congressman, a Republican, Chuck Edwards, North Carolina. The House Ethics Committee is investigating him too, although Edwards is denying those charges.
Are there any unsleazy politicians? I'm just asking for a friend.
No. Everybody's guilty until proven innocent with me.
I know.
Well, I've said this for a long time, and people think it's just hyperbole or a joke. The reason a lot of these guys get into politics is you get access to a lot of money. The lobbyists will take you on private jets. You go to expensive restaurants, dinners every night in Washington, lots of booze, and lots of interns and staff members, or the lobbyists will provide them. That is one of the perks of being a congressman. Lobbyists will bring women to you. It's like a DoorDash service. And if all else fails, you can't believe the money that escorts make in Washington, D.C. It is a tremendous career.
How do you know?
I do a lot of reading.
Huh.
That's why they, how do you know?
I don't know.
I do extensive research before I blurt out.
Okay.
The nonsense I blurt out.
That's why you're so smart.
Yeah.
And you do so well here.
You really are, you really got the needle out today, don't you?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you do. Your sarcasm. Here's one Democratic source who has this quote about Gomez. This guy is a sleazebag. This is one of his teammates. He should resign and use his free time to trade war stories with Swalwell. Hopefully he doesn't hook up with another chief of staff at Swalwell's house. One is too many. You know, he'll probably get reelected. I guess he's probably on the ballot today.
Swalwell?
Swalwell actually is on the ballot.
Yes, he is. That's what I was. Yes, that's why I said Swalwell. He is on the ballot.
I was thinking of Gomez, but yeah, Swalwell, I wonder how many votes he'll get.
I know Conway was joking. What if he won? I think it was Conway who was saying, "What if he won?"
Then he would jump back in. then you'd have the betting markets predicting that he would beat Steve Hilton.
Right.
Yeah. This is also stupid. You know, it would just be stupid, except they're blowing hundreds of billions of dollars of my money and your money, everybody's money. I don't understand it. All right. I think I've closed 8 segments today saying I don't understand. It all leads to the same place. When we come back, Bill Maher, who I like, had Spencer Pratt on his podcast. And Bill Maher started asking about solar panels. And Pratt didn't want to talk about solar panels. But the larger point I want to make about this is there is a trick that a lot of liberals, left-wing journalists use when they see an upstart movement coming. They try to discredit it by focusing on odd tangential issues to prove you don't know what you're talking about. Because I went through this many years ago, and I'll tell you that story, and I'll play you the clip from Maher and Spencer Pratt coming up. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Still time to cast your votes on this primary election day. Trump administration says it is scrapping plans for a fund meant to compensate allies of the president. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're going to head over to the 60 next.
All right, let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. Your business runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risk. And that's why I'm introducing SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex just to buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. Supersure.com. You can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you can see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know exactly what needs protecting. Supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com, supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow, high 70s to low 90s. This report brought to you by Think It Up. From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Crash on the 60 in Industry.
Eastbound side of the 60, just before the 605, is a broken down vehicle taking up the right-hand lanes, and you're slow from the East LA interchange to the 605. Traveling farther east on the 60 into the Brea Canyon, just past the 57. A weird situation here. A big rig lost a tire, and then that rig jumped the center divider over to the westbound side of the 60. 4 other vehicles were involved in this accident, and the E60 slows again from Azusa Avenue to the 57. 101 southbound, the Hollywood Freeway, just before Benton Way. Watch for a stalled box truck. It's blocking lanes. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
Rev up Father's Day gift giving at summitracing.com. You'll find unique gifts, parts, tools, accessories, and more. Or give the perfect card, a Summit Racing gift card. Shop summitracing.com, plus enroll in the rewards program to get more power in every purchase.
Think back. All those times you questioned everything and wondered why you didn't trust yourself. What if those thoughts could be eliminated? Truth is, those thoughts come from a hidden part of your mind. At a Dianetics seminar, you'll learn and apply powerful techniques to address the hidden source of your stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. It's hands-on, and you'll put the tools to work immediately. In just one weekend, you'll discover exactly how the mind works and increase your happiness and restore trust in yourself. A single weekend can change everything. Register today and take charge of your mental health. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
Gearing up for summer travel? Then it's time to put that old car in your driveway to good use. Hey, it's Conway, and here's the deal. Donate your car to Cars for Kids in just 2 minutes. Go to carsforkids.org or phone them up, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K. Any condition, they'll take it and tow it for free. You'll get a tax deduction, a 3-day, 2-night hotel stay to use this summer. 2 minutes, free pickup, and a free vacation? Wow! Donate your car today at carsforkids.org or call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K.
Voters are listening to the radio, and they're really listening. If you're running for office, radio gets your message heard, not scrolled past. Reach communities everywhere and be on the air in just 48 hours. Go to winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
How many times has your car been in the shop? 2, 3? That could qualify you for a full refund, replacement vehicle, or cash compensation. You pay nothing. It takes just 2 minutes. RefundYourLemon.com. That's RefundYourLemon.com.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
Yes. iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Go! Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world will be listening.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We're on 3 to 6, after 6, John Kobylt Show on demand. Today, I keep forgetting, we're on till 7, okay? So the podcast will be released after 7. We're doing an extra hour, and we're live on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, it is time, we haven't done this in a couple of days, to read some of the comments that people are making in the chat room alongside our YouTube live stream. This is from Sedan for Life. Keep voting left, and you'll have nothing left. An excellent bumper sticker or a billboard. What's next? Let's see. Rusty Bones, 5440. California, with a K, is a drug pusher. Yes, Karen Bass specifically runs a government whose policy is to push drug addiction on people, and that's why we're financing syringes and meth pipes, and that's why employees of a taxpayer-funded NGO are handing out drugs, the drugs itself, in MacArthur Park. And let's see, here's another one. If homeless people disappear, Basura and company will be broke. I don't, that is not a flippant response. That is the truth. Who suffers the most if we stop funding homelessness? These people in the streets are doing their drugs, whether we give money or not to this system, because we've given them billions of dollars and they're still on the street doing drugs. So they're not going to be affected because they steal stuff for their drugs. Right? Well, who's gonna be out? It's all the criminals running these nonprofits, especially those in management who are taking six-figure salaries. So, of course, they're donating to people like Karen Bass. We're going to find out sometime in the next 3 weeks or 2 months exactly how many people have serious brain damage in the city of Los Angeles. Because you vote for Karen Bass, that is a sign that you have suffered some severe cognitive dysfunction. I wouldn't even apply that to Nithya Raman so much, because Raman has not had the chance to demonstrate how she would manage the city. She has absurd philosophies, terrible votes, but Karen Bass actually had the keys to the car. So we've had 3.5 years where we can have objective analysis as to what she does as an executive running the government, running the city. And it has been a massive failure that only if you have severe brain damage can you be excused. If you don't have the brain damage, then there's absolutely no rational reason to vote for her. I guess what the possible exception is, you're one of the parasites, like you're a city union worker. I understand that. I understand, that kind of corruption and greed. But if you're a regular citizen and you objectively think she's doing a great job and needs her contract renewed, and I know it's a cliche, but imagine she was working at your workplace and fouled up all the most important projects and all the most important business that you did with your major clients, like completely fouled it up. And you lost money and clients left and there were lawsuits and she burned down half the office. She would have been fired. So what's with the emotional connection to a politician who's gloriously incompetent? I'm trying to analyze human nature and the psychological attachment that grown men and women have for another grown up who has really It's killed 12 people and put so many other lives in danger. I'm trying to understand what makes you want to support her. I mean, there are other candidates on the ballot, right? You know, you got Nithi Raman, you got Adam Miller, you got some wacky socialist person, a woman named Ray Huang, I think her name is. And then there's so it's not like there aren't other choices. There's other choices. Why would you pick her? She could not have done worse. I mean, how could she have done worse? I guess she could have burned down Brentwood and Bel Air too, or maybe spread her disaster. I just keep saying it's what I said before. Imagine if there's an earthquake. Like if we had like a big one, like I forgot. I'm never sensitive to Deborah. Imagine we have like a 7.5, 8. Imagine we have like what they had in San Francisco in 1906. Do you see that? Do you remember when the freeway collapsed because the homeless person started a fire? Well, it didn't collapse, but things started to buckle there a little. And she never admitted that it was a homeless fire, and it was. And they had a photo of a homeless guy, which made the news for a day, and then all the sycophants in the news media gave up and didn't want to press it. It was her homeless policies and Newsom's homeless policies that allowed that homeless guy to nearly take down a freeway. Everybody forgot that one. And she did exactly what she did with the fire. She had a couple of press conferences, it stated the obvious, claimed we don't really know what happened. Whew. Then was gone. Never saw her again. Just telling you. You look around. We got what 3 hours left, right? 8 o'clock is when the voting closes. We got 3 hours. Pratt and Hilton need turnout more than anything. Even if you're on the fence, go that way. And then you got 5-6 more months to think about it. You can always fall back and vote for the brain damage like Bass and Becerra. But get them into the runoff. All right, we come back. I'm going to get to that Bill Maher clip with Spencer Pratt, where Maher tries to trick Pratt on solar panels. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Just a few more hours. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. There's still time to cast votes on this primary election day as voting centers don't close until 8 tonight. KFI's Brigitte D'Agostino is live in Woodland Hills.
Hey there, Deborah. I'm at the voting center at Pierce College. There was a decent flow of people about 2 hours ago, but it's gotten a little bit quiet, although there is a police patrol car cruising through right now. The poll workers I spoke to said a lot of people voted early by mail, but they expect turnout to pick up a little bit more as people get off work. I spoke with first-time voter Ella Jacobs and student Ramteen Sidat Mand about who they're supporting for LA mayor. Here's what they had to say.
I voted for Spencer Pratt because I'm a very huge advocate for animals, and he has a lot of great policies for animals and to help relieve the stress on our shelters in Los Angeles.
Spencer Pratt, only because of the wildfires we had recently. There wasn't like a good advisor or someone who would like take care of that stuff, so that was like really important for me.
They say the city needs improvements, and they think Spencer Pratt can get the job done. Brigitte D'Agostino, KFI News.
Republicans are looking for a comeback, and tonight, candidate for governor Steve Hilton supporters think he could be the guy to deliver it. KFI's Heather Brooker is live in Huntington Beach at Hilton's watch party.
Yeah, I'm at the Hilton Waterfront Hotel, just a stunning property right next to the beach. And supporters of Republican candidate Steve Hilton are gathering tonight, hoping the former Fox News
Okay, we're having some technical difficulties with Heather. We'll check back in with her. Tonight, LA Mayor Bass will be the featured guest at the LA County Democratic Party election night gathering. KFI's Eileen Gonzalez is live.
Proposition CB would apply.
All right, Eileen, go for it.
Hey, Deborah, can you hear me?
Yep, you're on.
All right, perfect. Well, it looks like we're not welcome to this event with Karen Bass. I'm heading to the party. It's going to be at a hotel in Koreatown. It starts at 8. As of right now, the Bass campaign has ignored multiple requests for our RSVP. We emailed the proper credentials, did it yesterday, did it twice again today. Our boss, Jason Campidonia, even tried. I tried calling the mayor's office. They said they have nothing to do with the campaign part of it. I tried even messaging on Instagram. I was told that they would let the press person know, but they never got back to me. But that's not going to stop us. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be outside, see if I can get in. I'm going to see what I can do. The door's open to the press at 6. So wish me luck, and we'll keep you posted.
All right, that's Eileen Gonzalez reporting live. Voters in LA will decide on 3 propositions in their primary election ballots.
Proposition CB would apply existing cannabis business taxes to unlicensed weed businesses. City analysts say it could bring up to $35 million for the city's general fund. Propositions TC and TT ask if the hotel tax should extend to online travel and booking companies. City officials say TC modernizes the hotel tax to require online travel companies and platforms collect and remit the tax on the full amount paid by customers. Proposition TT would temporarily increase the tax from 14% to 16% through 2028. Then it would go down to 15%. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. The chance of your home insurance claim being approved is almost a coin flip.
New research says the 5 biggest home insurance companies paid out on only 56% of claims last year. The Wall Street Journal says the 44% no payout is 36% higher than 10 years ago. Some of the reasons insurers are getting tougher on approving claims are extreme weather, with 5 times as many billion-dollar disasters between 2018 and 2022, and COVID-19, which caused supply chain cost problems they're still recovering from. Several insurers say it's also homeowners who are screwing up their claims when they file them through text or the insurance company's app. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
The Trump administration says it's scrapping plans for that $1.8 billion fund meant to compensate allies of the president. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says they're not moving forward with the fund, period. 2 weeks ago, the Justice Department said the fund was an appropriate measure to make up for what officials insist was weaponized law enforcement during former President Biden's Democratic administration. And R&B singer Peabo Bryson has died. Bryson is perhaps best known for the Disney songs A Whole New World and Beauty and the Beast, for which he won back-to-back Grammys in 1993 and 94. He also had a string of hits with Roberta Flack, including Tonight, I Celebrate My Love. Peabo Bryson was 75. Southland weather from KFI. We have the low clouds and fog back again in the morning. Then it will be sunny. Highs low 70s to low 80s for Metro LA and Inland OC. Mid 80s to low 90s in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. Windy in the high desert and the IE again. And then we have low 70s for the beaches. Right now, 70 in Dana Point, 74 in Anaheim, 77 Diamond Bar, is 76 in Simi Valley. The KFI Financial Update brought to you by Supersure, supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 229, S&P 500 up 10, NASDAQ up 7, crash 91, Long Beach.
That's the Artesia Freeway portion of the 91 heading eastbound just before Cherry Avenue. A 2-vehicle collision should be over on the right-hand shoulder, but the East 91 stop and go from the 110 down to Pioneer Boulevard. In Pasadena, 210 westbound approaching Lake Avenue. It's a broken down pickup truck clearing from the middle lane. Well, 210 heading to Pasadena, you're slow from Baldwin Avenue to the 134. 10 eastbound before Indian Hill Boulevard, a 2-vehicle accident should be cleared off the right-hand shoulder. Problems in Encino on the Ventura Freeway, West 101 just beyond White Oak Avenue. A car broke down. That stalled vehicle is blocking the right lane. Expect delays on the West 101 from the North Hollywood Freeway split to Reseda Boulevard. The Angels host the Colorado Rockies this evening in Anaheim. First pitch at 6:38. So if you're heading to the Big A right now, it's a little slow. More than a little on the 57 southbound from the 91 to the Orange Crush. 57 heading northbound, reduced speeds from Orangewood Avenue to the 91. And the 5 northbound through Orange County, you're slow from the 33 up to Catella, right near Angel Stadium. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Living on the edge is where you thrive, and Toyota takes you there with Tacoma, Tundra, 4Runner, Land Cruiser, and Sequoia. From crystal blue lakes to open plains, Toyota vehicles are built for the ones who pack courage, not maps, the wild at heart. Because we know it's not the destination that drives you, it's seeking the uncharted that completes you. Wherever your horizon leads, we got you. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places. Toyota makes the vehicles, you make it yours. With Toyota's line of accessories, from lift kits to suspension upgrades, modify your Toyota truck or SUV to suit your off-road dreams. We partner with leading brands like ARB, Rigid, Rhino, and more, so you can customize with confidence. Visit your local dealer for warranty custom work or shop online at toyota.com/accessories. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. One confession can turn into a full-on phone explosion. Hear the drama, the heartbreak, and the advice everyone's talking about on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Are you avoiding shorts or dresses because of your varicose veins? You find yourself covering up, feeling self-conscious about how your legs look? Don't wait another minute. West Medical can treat varicose veins in under an hour with no downtime. That's right. One simple call and a quick procedure can help you feel confident again. Most treatments are affordable and covered by PPO insurance. Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL today. That's 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL or go to westmedical.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in L.A.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
This September, coming back to Las Vegas, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com.
But starting June 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet?
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And we continue with our Election Day show up till 7 o'clock tonight. Special extra hour. Nothing special is going to happen. We're just going to be here. Because somebody's got to fill the time, so why not me, since I'm sitting around? And then Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman will take over at 7, and then they'll stare into space, waiting for the returns to come in. And they you could probably find them a month from now. They'll be in these same chairs here, waiting for returns to come in. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some projections and some indication as to who's going to make the runoff. All right, all right, here's a story for you, and we're going to talk with Carl DeMaio. Katie Grimes from California Globe had this story today. They have she wrote a story about the legalized ballot harvesting in California that allows a third party to collect ballots and deliver them to election officials. It used to be the only person who could return another voter's ballot was a family member. And since 2016, they allowed this ballot harvesting, and you have now these organizations that get paid to roam around and collect ballots and hand them in. And ever since then, the Democrats get huge surges of votes, mail-in ballots that get counted for weeks. There's so many that come in. Overwhelms the system. It was coincidentally as soon as they changed the law. I don't know how that happened. Let's talk to Carl DeMaio. He's with the organization Reform California. He's assemblyman from San Diego, Republican. Welcome, Carl. How are you?
I am on pins and needles because I think that there is a pretty big risk that Republicans could get shut out of the governor's race, 4 other statewide races, the LA mayor's race. And, it's not just that we have too many candidates running and the candidates are splitting the vote. It's that we don't have enough Republicans showing up and voting. So we have a little under 3 hours from right now for polls to close. And I'm imploring everyone, if you haven't voted, go vote. And if you know a friend that hasn't voted, get them to vote. And if they don't know what's on the ballot, have them go to our voter guide at reformcalifornia.org. Click under the voter guide for their county. We have 58 separate county voter guides, plain English description of what's on the ballot, and we only endorse fighters in each of the races. But we got to get more turnout because right now I see Democrats surging, and we've been tracking ballot returns, John, for the last several days. People are surprised when I tell them We know who has voted in the last 24 hours. We just don't know how they voted. And right now, as of 5:03 p.m., our database, which is connected to the state of California in all 58 counties, shows that we have 19.7% turnout statewide. 48% of the votes that have been cast are from Democrats. 31.7% are from Republicans. And that's a pretty healthy number for Republicans. But the problem, John, is that Republicans were at 37% last week on Monday, and they've dropped down to 31.7%. Democrats were at 41%. They've gone up to 48% just in the last 10 days. And this is because Democrats held onto their ballots and are voting late. And if Republicans want to avoid a shutout, they have to have a strong turnout at the polls today, or else they're going to get swamped.
Why do you think that people who care enough to register to vote and actually select a party that they want to be affiliated with, and they live in the same state and they've got eyes like you and I do, and they see how awful how awful things are, why, when it comes down to one of two election days, they don't show up? I mean, it's not like they're completely disconnected. They bothered to register to vote. They bothered to join a party. Why wouldn't they follow through because of all the terrible things going on?
Two reasons why good people don't vote. Number one, they don't have hope. They believe that the fix is in, that the system is rigged, that there's no candidate on the ballot that has a chance to win that reflects their point of view. And so they've lost hope. And I keep telling people the power is still within our hands. If all the 6.1 million voters in California that voted for Trump showed up in this midterm, there would be top two Republicans in every race. And it would be a seismic shift in California politics. Now, you're not going to get that, but we need a hell of a lot more than the piddly 1 out of 3 that are expected to show up of that 6.1 million.
So you think it's just they've given up?
The first reason is they've given up hope. The second reason why people don't vote is they don't know what's on the ballot, and they haven't done their research. And that's where our voter guide is so crucial, because one of the big impediments to someone voting is they're afraid that they might vote for the wrong ballot measure, because they know the politicians play games on the title and summary of the measures, and they don't want to vote the wrong way. They also don't know about the down ticket races for judge, for city council, for school board, and they're afraid of voting for a left-wing lunatic. And there's a lot of them on the ballot.
Yeah, but you don't have to vote in every judge's race or any judge's race. You could.
Correct.
Why not show up and vote for governor and mayor? Let's say all you are aware of are the headline races. Show up and vote for that. Why don't they do that? You don't have to show up anywhere. Your kitchen table.
Yes. And so that's what we're trying to overcome with the voter guide, is giving people more races where they feel satisfied that they filled out most of their ballot. And there are still races where we don't have a good candidate, so I tell people, skip it. You're doomed. And if we even say that on our voter guide, you are doomed, because I'm not going to give you the lesser of two evils. But the voter guide, making it easy to vote, is helpful. And then we need to give people hope. But again, I'm imploring anyone out there who hasn't voted yet, if you have ever complained about state or local government in California, and oh, come on, I think all of you have almost every day, then do something about it, damn it. Get on your phone, find the nearest polling location. If you're in LA County, Orange County, San Bernardino County, all you have to do is Google, search the registrar of voters for your county, and they have a list of polling centers. You don't even have to have a ballot on you right now. You can just show up and say, I left my ballot at home, I want to vote, and they're going to give you a provisional ballot. There is no excuse not to vote. You have almost 3 hours right now, and if you don't vote, we're going to get sunk in this primary, and it's so important that people turn out. It's not just Spencer Pratt whose race is on the line. It's going to be razor thin. The governor's race, but there are countless other races. We're even looking at a state Senate seat, John, in LA, Senate District 24, where 2 Republicans actually might make the top 2 and lock out the Democrats.
All right, but let me ask you this. According to one of the polls, 65% of the city does not like Karen Bass's performance and doesn't like her. 65% on both measures.
Yeah.
Why would any of those people? They don't like her politics. They don't like her performance, I should say, and they don't like her. Why would they vote for Karen Bass in the end? Why do that?
Here's why. 65% of people say they don't like Karen Bass, but they don't necessarily show up to vote. And so the ones that like her, they're probably on the dole. They're probably getting
well, they're the professional parasites. They work for the unions.
Parasites, yes. Yeah, and so they're the ones motivated to show up because this is their gravy train, baby. They need to make sure they cling to power. And so people who are motivated to vote are the ones that are deciding what's actually happening. So that 65% number, I actually think is higher, but 65% that don't like her, a big chunk of them are so disgusted, period, that they're just not going to participate and they're not going to vote. Well, guess what? The bad guys win. When you don't vote, the bad guys win, and that's why we've got to turn out the vote in this election. It is so crucial, and there is still time. As I just said, you don't need to have your ballot on you. If you're still at work, if you are in transit, just look up on the internet site the county registrar of voters that you live in, go to the nearest polling location, walk in, present yourself, and ask for a ballot. They have to give you a ballot right there on the spot. And so voting is so easy. There's no excuse not to do it. Just get out and vote.
Carl, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Carl DeMaio, Reform, California, and Assemblyman down in San Diego. And I'll talk more about the Katie Grimes story today, about all the dead ballots, dead voters, I should say. And in fact, Megan Barth at California Globe has a story today as well about ghost voters, some of whom may be dead. A lot of them don't vote anymore. A lot of them have moved away, but they're all on the rolls. And with ballot harvesting and with the way the mailing is, that's what makes me suspicious. But just because you're suspicious doesn't mean you don't vote here, assuming you're going to vote rationally. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Few more hours before the polls close tonight at 8 o'clock, and an actor's been sentenced to 32 years to life in prison. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow, high 70s to low 90s. This report brought to you by America 250 from your Toyota dealers traffic center. We make it easy. Crash on the 405 in Culver City.
It's on the 405 southbound, just past the 90 Marina Freeway. It's a three-vehicle collision that just cleared from the right lane over to the right-hand shoulder. South 405, your stop and go from Santa Monica Boulevard down to Palo Verde. West 101 Ventura Freeway past White Oak Avenue. A stalled vehicle just cleared from the right-hand lane, but expect delays coming away from the North Hollywood Freeway split. East 105 before Paramount Boulevard, it's a stalled tractor-trailer blocking the middle lanes. East 105 slow going from Aviation Boulevard to the 605. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Summer is heating up, but your wallet, doesn't have to. With American Vision Windows, new windows and doors don't have to cost you a thing until 2028. Book this June and pay nothing for 2 years. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call them at 888-686-8249, 888-686-8249. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. The offer ends June 30th.
June gloom may keep things cool, but termites never stop. Termite droppings or discarded wings are signs of an active infestation. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free written inspection. Pacific Coast Termite uses orange oil and Ultraset. No tenting, no move out, and no poisonous gas. Call now and save 10% on termite services. Plus, get a free 2-year warranty. Ask about 90-day same-as-cash financing on approved credit. Call 800-PACIFIC. That's 800-PACIFIC for Pacific Coast Termite. Some restrictions apply.
This July 4th, celebrate at America's Block Party, a can't-miss concert at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Hosted by America 250. See music performances from major artists, patriotic tributes, and kick off Giving Forth to make it the largest day of giving. Learn more at america250.org.
This report is sponsored by Habit.
The $10 Gotta Have It meal deal. Swing by for half a Santa Barbara char, a 5-piece chicken bites, your choice of a select side, and a drink, all for a fresh price. The $10 Gotta Have It meal deal. Have it. Fresh like that. Limited time only. Price and participation varies. Tax extra. Terms at habitburger.com.
Having car problems that won't go away? If your vehicle's been in the shop 2 or more times for the same issue, you may qualify for a refund, replacement, or cash compensation. You pay nothing, the manufacturer covers the fees. Go to refundyourlemon.com. It takes just 2 minutes. That's refundyourlemon.com.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward
toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Congressional districts change. Lines get redrawn, but some things you can still count on, like AM and FM radio. The most reliable ways to reach people where they live with voices they trust across towns, cities, and congressional districts. At iHeart, we connect with more Americans than anyone in audio. Ready to take your message to your current and future voters? Partner with iHeart, and we'll combine radio with our podcasting and digital assets and get working for you. Start today. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit winwithiheart.com.
Hey, it's Gary and Shannon. We're here with Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And Jeff, why should people care how their financial advisor is paid?
Most people don't, and that's a problem. But it's because how your advisor is paid will directly influence the advice that you receive.
How so?
Well, most financial advisors are brokers, and brokers can sell one investment over a better one just because it pays a higher commission. Fiduciary advisors are required to act in the client's best interest first.
And that's why we are clients of Trajan Wealth.
Exactly. At Trajan Wealth, our compensation is simple. The more you make, the more we make. Our interests are aligned.
Don't work with a financial advisor who just wants to sell you something. Work with a fiduciary at Trajan Wealth like we did.
Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show, we'll have all of the latest numbers of the election returns from our primary election coverage and what it means going forward. Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We're live on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. If you want to subscribe and become a member. And podcast will be released after 7 o'clock. We're going to 7. Then election coverage with Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman after that. All right, so let me follow up on what we were talking about with Carl DeMaio. Yeah, that's his name. 2 stories, both in the California Globe. One is Katie Grimes talking about the dead voters that have always been on the voter rolls, and some of them actually had been voting for years. This goes back to 2016. That's when one of these stories first broke. 2016 found that there were quite a few LA County votes from dead people. And I don't know if that's the story that ignited this legislation, but Jerry Brown and the California legislature then legalized ballot harvesting so that somebody from the outside could go over people's homes and collect their ballots and then turn them over to election officials. Up until that point, you had to be related to a voter to turn in their ballot. Now you had people, and they would get paid as long as they weren't getting paid per ballot. But if they were working for, a flat fee, some kind of hourly wage, a salary, they could do this. So you can see the kind of mischief here. I mean, they could collect dead people. They could collect people in nursing homes. They could collect from people who didn't speak English. They could fill out the ballots for them. Who would know? And this is what happened. And then starting in the 2018 election, suddenly you had these mysterious Democratic surges after the polls closed the next day, over the next week, and suddenly any non-progressive in the race was overwhelmed with the surge of these ballot harvested votes. Those are the ones that came in last, took the longest to count. It was State Senator Ben Allen from Santa Monica who wrote one of the bills, and then Lorena Gonzalez, who's now a union hack, wrote another bill. Not only can the ballots be harvested, the state can take 30 days to count the harvested ballots. 30 days. Right. No reason to be suspicious of that. And Jerry Brown signed both bills into law. And then after that, Democrats started winning in blowouts. And nobody's done anything to change it. Nobody's done anything to stop it because the Democrats have complete ironclad rule. Now, that doesn't mean, though, that you should stay home and not vote. Giving up is just going to cost you a tremendous amount of money and freedom. It has already. And it will create a quality of life that's even worse than it is now, if that's possible. Megan Barth had another story here. The Judicial Watch has found 873,000 ghost voters. They're a watchdog group. They filed a federal lawsuit against the California Secretary of State. Their claim is there's a systemic failure to maintain accurate voting lists. Of course, they do this on purpose. 873,000 inactive voter registrations. About a third of those have been inactive for at least 3 consecutive federal elections. That's a 6-year period. 151,000 have been inactive for 4 cycles. That's 8 years. 33,000 have been inactive for 5 or more. 10 years or more. So either 6, 8, or 10 years, they haven't voted. They could be dead or incapacitated, or they moved, or they really, really checked out and don't care anymore. In either way, their names ought to be cleared from the rolls. Instead, somewhere, there's a ballot arriving at some address with these people's names on it, 873,000. And then you have the ballot harvesters getting paid to collect, perhaps, the ballots of these ghost voters. San Diego, not too long ago, removed 300,000 ghost voters. Now, California has seen so many people leave. 660,000 Californians left in 2024. Then in 2023, it was 690,000. 2022, 818,000. Add that up. In 3 calendar years, over 2 million people left California. But they're still on the ballot. I mean, they're still on the voter rolls, and ballots with their name still get sent somewhere. You might have left California 2-4 years ago, but your last address that the Secretary of State has been sent a ballot in your name. That's 2 million extra ballots just from the people who left, not counting the people who are dead. Judicial Watch has gone after other states. They got almost 1 million ballots removed out of New York City alone off the voter rolls. Names off the voter rolls. Kentucky, over 700,000. Oregon, 800,000. Ballot harvesting. Dead people. People who moved away on the rolls. They don't want a voter ID. Just put the pieces together. You know what's going on. The only way to stop this, actually, and maybe it's counterintuitive for some of you. You're thinking, well, it's hopeless. Everything's corrupt. It's like giving up means you give up the power to fix all this. You can give up or refuse to give up and give yourself a chance and everybody else to fix this. So you got 2.5 hours still to go out and vote. But again, only if you're voting for rational people. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
In a state dominated by Democrats, Republican candidate for governor Steve Hilton supporters believe tonight could be the beginning of a political upset. KFI's Heather Brooker is live in Huntington Beach at Hilton's watch party.
Yeah, I'm at the Hilton Waterfront Hotel, actually looking at one of the multiple pools here and then the beach just across the street. You know, this is a stunning property where supporters of Republican candidate Steve Hilton will be gathering tonight, hoping the former Fox News host can shake up California politics and build some momentum heading into the general election. And so far, we've just seen the media. They're setting up next to the wine glasses and tables covered in white tablecloth. There's also giant balloon art, a swag table with hats and T-shirts. And, of course, Hilton's book is out here as well, and signs that say change is coming. Hilton has spent years criticizing Sacramento from the sidelines. Well, tonight he is trying to convince voters that he's the candidate who can actually change it. As results come in, supporters will be here watching closely to see whether his message is resonating beyond the Republican base in a state where Democrats still dominate statewide elections. Heather Brooker, live in Huntington Beach for KFI News.
Voters in L.A. also have to choose a city attorney and controller. City Attorney Heidi Feldstein-Soto faces 3 challengers. Controller Kenneth Mejia is facing a challenge from Zach Sokoloff. If elected, Sokoloff says he would audit basic city services and appoint a chief revenue officer to identify new ways to increase the city's revenue. The polls close at 8 tonight, but don't expect results right away.
Experts say the ballot counting process has largely slowed down in recent years due to the state's emphasis on accuracy and voter accessibility. In 2024, it took 17 days for State Senator Laura Richardson to be declared the winner of a close race in South LA. That same year, there was an unprecedented second-place tie in Northern California, prompting a recount that took nearly 2 months to sort out. California and especially LA County are known for slow vote counts. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
Actor Nick Pasquale, who appeared in an episode of How I Met Your Mother and other TV shows, has been sentenced to 32 years to life in prison for the 2024 stabbing of a Hollywood makeup artist that he was dating. He was found guilty last month by a jury of attempted murder, forcible rape, first-degree burglary, and injuring a spouse or partner. His ex-girlfriend testified against him during the trial. We're going to head over to the 60 next.
Have you checked the value of your used car? GiveMeTheVin.com wants to buy your car, whether it's your daily driver, pickup truck, SUV, minivan, or exotic car. Give me the VIN. If it doesn't beat a deal from CarMax or Carvana, they're going to pay you $100. GiveMeTheVin.com. You go to the website, enter your car's VIN or license plate number. You'll get an offer in minutes, well above any dealer quote. You can go to one of their pickup locations or they'll come to you. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny. Highs low 70s to low 80s. Metro LA and inland OC. Mid 80s to low 90s in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. Windy in the high desert and the IE, low 70s for the beaches. Right now, 72 in Laguna Woods, 73 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 60 in Roland Heights.
Eastbound side of the 60 past Nogales. It's a motorcycle accident clearing out of the carpool lane. First, you have delays on the E60 from Downey Road to the 605, and approaching the accident scene, you're slow again from Azusa Avenue to the 57. East 105 before Paramount Boulevard is a disabled tractor trailer blocking one of the middle lanes. You have a backup near LAX right around Aviation Boulevard. Pomona, 10 eastbound right at Dudley Street. A big rig caught fire, but no lanes are blocked. You are slow on this portion of the East 10 from Holt Avenue to Town Avenue. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
This June, the world comes to Los Angeles. Kick off FIFA World Cup 2026 at the FIFA Fan Festival at the iconic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Watch matches live on giant screens. Feel every goal with thousands of fans. And celebrate with music, culture, and flavors from around the world. Join us June 11th through 14th, opening weekend, as the tournament kicks off in Los Angeles. Tickets are just $10 and kids under 12 are free. Get yours now at LosAngelesFWC26.com.
Wild Fork Foods is celebrating World Cuts. Get it? Fire up that grill and get ready for summer soccer with incredible cuts from around the globe. At Wild Fork, you'll find the largest meat and seafood selection under one roof, more than 500 options to choose from. The prices, they can't be beat. Over 270 proteins under $10 a pound and more than 80 under $5 a pound. Try the chimichurri seasoned outside skirt steak for $19.98 a pound. You'll save $1 per pound today. You get more food that's healthy, delicious, and 100% guaranteed. Find your local SoCal store at wildfork.com.
In this edition of the Marketers Report, Heather Sparks, head of content at Zenith, discusses the power of radio hosts.
I actually think DJs were the original influencers. You invited them into your home. You invited them into your ear. You built a relationship with them. You understood and trusted the things that were interesting to them.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
Accident or injury, call Jacob Emrani. Call Jacob.
Leader, planner, champion of good times. Everyone knows it's what you do. That's why Toyota RAV4, Highlander, Grand Highlander, and Sienna are built for you. The masters of morning rush and midnight check-ins. It's your happy place because Toyota knows people are the destination and life's grand when it's shared. For all the ways you make unforgettable happen, we got you. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Everything you need to find your perfect Toyota is right at your fingertips at Toyota.com. Explore our full lineup of vehicles. Compare features side by side. Search our available inventory. You can even find the best local offers. Everything you need is just a few clicks away on Toyota.com. So for your next Toyota car, truck, or SUV, just visit Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Today,
we don't have real oversight over the hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's primary night on KFI.
AM 640.
I'm the look-around candidate. Use your own eyes.
KFI brings you live election night coverage.
People would like to stay in California. We have to make it so they can afford it.
With Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill beginning at 7 p.m. Listen live on KFI AM 640 on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are on every day from 3 to 6, after 6. John Kobylt Show on demand, but today is a special day. We're on till 7. All right, so the radio show till 7, which means the podcast will come out just after 7 o'clock. But we're live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube all the way to 7 o'clock, and the polls close at 8. So we'll have Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman anchoring tonight, all the election coverage. Okay, I've been mentioning this. Finally going to get to it. So I've got a clip here, and I really like Bill Maher because he shoots straight. He admits he's kind of an old-fashioned liberal, but he finds the progressives to be just absurd and dangerous. The right wing he objects to, which is fine. But he's a Democrat without being insane. And what's happened is, and this happens to both parties from time to time, the insane elements take over. The progressive elements have taken over the Democratic Party. And what does it produce? It produces a lot of feces and drug addicts and mental patients and criminals. That's what it does. That is what you get out of progressivism. So he has Spencer Pratt on. But Maher, at one point, played a game which I've had to deal with myself over the years. And I'm going to play you the clip, and then I'm going to explain the game, and also listen to how Pratt responds to it as well.
Took me 3 years to get the solar turned on. Solar, something they want you to have.
But now they're taxing you, I think, for having it.
They are?
I think so.
What do you mean you think so? You have to know.
I don't need to know about solar,
Okay,
I need to focus on making sure the moms are safe and the animals are not being abused. That's my party.
I know. But if you're the mayor.
The solar panels, that's going to be somebody I'm hiring. That's my deputy mayor is going to worry about the solar panels.
No, Spencer, I got bad news. If you're the mayor, you're going to have to learn some of these issues more.
Solar panels. We're about 3 years from worrying about solar panels. We need to get all the naked drug addicts off of the sidewalks, and then I can worry about solar panels.
But we can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
With the state of LA right now, the solar panels, you can spit that gum out. I love the idea of getting the drug addicts treatment and giving them job opportunities. And if we need more solar panels, personally, I think we got to investigate the LADWP, why you even need a solar panel. You pay so much money for regular electricity that we got to check why our rates are going up 10% plus every month. And we're not getting better electricity. Alkaline water is not coming out of our tap. So I'll get back to you on the solar panels, but it's a little, my totem pole is make sure people don't have home invasions every single night.
Right.
Make sure you're not losing your whole suspension because we haven't fixed a road. I'm basic. That's why I'm resonating. Common sense, basic stuff. People that are struggling to live in LA right now because it's so expensive and they're stepping in human poop, they don't care about your problem with the solar panel right now. But they may, once I get rid of the poop and I make it more affordable to live, then they may want solar panels.
I've seen this pattern so many times. Somebody comes from the outside and wants to change a failing system. And there's always people going, well, do you know about this? And well, do you know about that? And it's all about discrediting the guy, saying, see, you can't trust him. He thinks he's going to change the system, but he doesn't know about my little pet issue. He doesn't know about my little tangent issue. I remember, it's a long time ago now, and to do full justice to the story, I'd either have to produce a 1-hour documentary or write a book. But Ken and I got started in doing this kind of radio back in New Jersey. And we had just taken our first job at a talk station in Jersey. And it wasn't even a full talk station. We played half music and half talk. And just to shorten the story by, about 95%, we accidentally started a tax revolt because the governor of New Jersey, Jim Florio at the time, had run and promised no new taxes. He's in office, I think, 5 months. Massive tax increase. $3 billion, which at the time was the largest tax increase any state had ever raised in the history of the United States. Huge blowback. And Ken and I started reading all the stupid expenditures in the budget. Stuff that, Elon Musk was highlighting when he was doing his Doge thing, or Steve Hilton is doing now. And, we were picking out at the time, because we were in transition from being disc jockeys to being talk show hosts. So we were picking out the funny stuff, the $800,000 the state was spending on the sex life of oysters, that kind of thing. And I remember his name, John Budzash. He was a postal worker. And at the time, postal workers were in the news because they were periodically engaging in mass shootings. And he called up and he said, you guys are laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm mad. Well, postal worker says he's mad. Well, pay attention to this. And he started going on a rant, and he was absolutely right. And within 10 days, we had 10,000 people storming the state capitol in Trenton, New Jersey, screaming about the taxes, waving toilet paper in the air because he had raised tax on toilet paper, which after that, no governor ever did again. I ended up on the back of a pickup truck, a flatbed, with a microphone, yelling at the crowd. We ended up the lead story on the news in New York that night. And it kind of launched our career, launched that radio station, and launched an era where people started to rebel against the government, which they should do. There should be a good, loud rebellion, every 10 years or so. Not violent. There was no violence at all. Just simply, we're not putting up with this, and you're gone. Next election cycle, state assembly, gone. Changed hands. State Senate, gone. Changed hands. Next governor cycle, Florio's gone. Changed hands. New governor came in, slashed taxes 30%. That's the way it should work. Has not happened in California in 15 years. Gray Davis got recalled. Why? There were two issues. Primarily, it was the electricity rates were out of control because he botched up the electricity market. And then secondarily, he tripled the car tax. And between those two issues, Davis was gone. Schwarzenegger was in. Then Schwarzenegger lied and said he wasn't going to raise taxes, and he did. And what happened? Got an amendment on the ballot and repealed that tax. And that was a lot. That was twice. 2 big revolts in California in a 7-year period, not that long ago. And then suddenly, I don't know if it was the onset of the cell phone, everything went dead. Getting back to what Maher was doing, though, what I remember is getting into an argument with a reporter, because the reporters back then were horrified at what Ken and I were doing, horrified by our show, horrified about the impact we were having, horrified by the people's reaction. And again, we didn't even tell people to call in and protest the tax. We were reading about oyster sex or whatever we were doing. But this guy's horrified, and he starts asking me questions about bizarre, esoteric topics that I didn't know anything about, and there's no reason I should. But he was trying to use that, and he used that in the column. Well, he didn't know about this, and he didn't know about that. It's like, I don't have to know about that. What I know is Jersey's a high-tax state. Jim Florio promised not to raise taxes. 5 months later, biggest tax increase in history. That's all you got to know. Same thing here. Spencer Pratt doesn't have to know about the intricacies of solar panel rebates or whatever the hell. What he's got to do is keep his eyes open, and he sees guy taking a squat, dropping poop on the ground, guy using taxpayer-paid meth pipes to snort meth, using taxpayer-paid fentanyl syringes to inject fentanyl, and these are Karen Bass-approved policies. That's all you got to know. All you got to know is Karen Bass was told, hey, possibly worst fire L.A. will ever have coming in a few days. Worst winds we've ever seen. Oh, I'm going to Ghana. She was told. She's lied about it repeatedly. I'm sorry. You get fired immediately for that kind of behavior in any other line of work. I can't imagine why anybody has an emotional attachment to Karen Bass.
Ouch!
And I understand, again, if you're a professional parasite, thank you for stealing the money, sucking the money off the taxpayer for your stupid, worthless city union job. Nice going. Thanks for caring about the rest of us. So I get why you're voting for Karen Bass. All the union, all these bacteria and viruses and parasites and worms that live off us. But I don't know about the people who have some kind of solidarity with her. It's like, I mean, what more do you need her to do? Like, if she actually ran on that platform, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure a big chunk of the city burns down, and I'm going to finance the drugs, as it turned out, the crack pipes, the meth pipes, and the fentanyl and heroin needles. I'll finance all that. So we have more homeless people dying in the streets. Over 2,000 a year dying in the streets. I'll do that if I'm elected. That's what she did. And guess what? She's running for re-election. All right. Deborah Mark Live, KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. An active bomb threat and hostage situation is underway inside a bank in Bakersfield. And the race for governor of California could see 2 Democrats or a Democrat and a Republican in a November runoff. The polls close at 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have more at the top of the hour from the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, high 70s to low 90s. This report brought to you by Pro-Life across America. From your Toyota dealers traffic center, we make it easy. Vehicle fire on the 10 in Pomona.
Eastbound side of the 10 right at Dudley Street. It's a big rig that caught fire. Now, surprisingly, no lanes are blocked for the East 10. First, you have delays from City Terrace Drive to Azusa Avenue. And then up ahead, up around the big rig fire situation, you're slow again from Via Verde to Indian Hill Boulevard. 210 eastbound before Myrtle Avenue. It's a 3-vehicle accident blocking the left lane. And the East 210 stop and go from the 134 down to Foothill Boulevard. In that same general area, 210 eastbound before San Dimas Avenue, it's a stalled big rig blocking the right lanes. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Here's a question. How many brokers does it take to insure your business? Well, if you're like most business owners, the answer is too many. Multiple policies, multiple applications, and no clear view on how it all fits together. And when questions come up, it's not easy to get the clarity you need. Super Sure changes all of that. One broker for your business insurance, backed by a team that works with you year-round, not just at renewal. And if you've ever stared at a policy, wondering what it actually covers, SuperSure has a fine print facts tool that translates the legal jargon into plain English. That way, you know what's covered and what's not. Right now, you can go to supersure.com and get a full report on your current policies with no obligation at all. Find out if you're overinsured, underinsured, or somewhere in between. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
This report is sponsored by Summit Clinical Research. Every breakthrough starts with someone willing to take part. Summit Clinical Research is seeking volunteers with fatty liver disease for studies focused on MASH. Participants may receive study treatment, care, and compensation at no cost. Check eligibility at NASHlivertrials.com.
How many times has your car been in the shop? 2, 3? That could qualify you for a full refund, replacement vehicle, or cash compensation. You pay nothing. It takes just 2 minutes. RefundYourLemon.com. That's RefundYourLemon.com.
Inheriting a home can be overwhelming. Between repairs and the time it takes to get everything ready to sell, it can feel like more trouble than it's worth. That is where Seller's Advantage comes in.
One real customer who inherited a home shared their experience. We had an inheritance from a relative. It would have taken us a lot of time, money, and headaches to get the property in shape to sell. I heard about Seller's Advantage from radio commercials and decided to give them a try. Their offer was reasonable and we accepted it. They took care of all the physical effort and legal complexities. We closed within 3 weeks. They said I would highly recommend them to anyone.
No matter what your reason for selling, call Seller's Advantage today. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-AS-IS.
That's 888-321-2747. Or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free, no obligation cash offer.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 019-61658. Providence Realty DRE number 019-15212.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
AMCO, with over 40 centers serving Southern California.
They broke the law to get here, then broke our laws again.
Violent offenders, repeat criminals, people who put our families at risk. But young Kim voted to prevent deportation of convicted criminals. That's why she received a D.
I fear for my kids' safety, whether walking home or hanging out with their friends. Safety isn't political, it's fundamental.
Young Kim, good for criminals, bad for our children. Americans for Security PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by Americans for Security PAC.
You'll learn more before breakfast than most people learn all day. Wake Up Call with Amy King. Live 5 to 6 a.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Hey, it's Conway Show. I'll be on noon to 3 today, so stay tuned for that. Then John Kobylt will come in. He'll be on until 7 o'clock. Then
here already.
Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman will be on from 7 until they have some kind of decision on these elections. That's all today on KFI.
I'll wait for Tim to come in. Everybody's on top of things today, I noticed. All right. We got one more hour of the show, by the way. If you think it's bad now, you just wait. And then Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman in at 7 o'clock. I am looking during the commercial break at this ponderous LA Times story. I mean, you know, it's a hopeless place, but it amuses me. So they got one of their reporters, you could call it that, to write this piece. I'm trying to think, is this like some sort of cover your ass piece in the final hours? Because this is what they should have been writing all along, and they post this at 11:35, and the headline is, in Deep Blue, California, frustration with Democratic status quo roils the governor in LA mayor's race. They just discovered this now. They just discovered that frustration with the Democratic government in L.A. and Sacramento is roiling the races. There's been almost no coverage like that. So the subhead, this is from Jenny Jarvie. It says here that it just goes through the history of this whole campaign so far. But they quote from Sarah Sedwani, a professor of politics at Pomona College. There's a clear sense of frustration with the Democratic Party. And the reason a wave of conservative outsiders such as Pratt and Hilton are doing so well in a solidly liberal city and state is they're more willing to spell out the challenges that LA and California face. Again, it's supposedly a conservative thing not to want to have naked guys whacked on drugs taking a crap on your street. That makes you a conservative. Well, don't you know this is a deeply blue city? And here in a deeply blue city, we welcome people taking off their clothes, shooting up drugs, and taking a crap in front of our children at the park. That's a solid progressive value. She goes on to say, Democrats tend to be very concerned about not upsetting one coalition or another. And it's politics as usual with many of the Democratic candidates. Spencer Pratt has blown a hole in that just by naming the problems that everyday residents and voters are seeing and feeling on the ground. Well, yeah. Well, this is shocking. I can't believe how shocked the media and political crowd is that a guy who's able to command attention, has a bit of a name, is able to describe what all these reporters and all these other politicians see for themselves every day, that every one of them knows that this is happening because of the policies by the government that's currently running things. Every reporter knows this. Every anchor, every editor, every other politician, every staff member, every bureaucrat, they all know that these policies created this mess over the last 10 years. And then one guy is able to command attention by saying exactly what they all know, but the rest of them are too cowardly to say out loud. But Pratt says it out loud. Oh, my God, what an effect he's had. Can you believe in such a deep blue? I don't understand. You know, I'd like to say, who's the progressive person that wants to live with the naked guy shooting up drugs and taking a crap in front of their kids? But there's a lot of people putting up with it, so. On homelessness, many Angelenos are frustrated that Bass hasn't significantly moved the needle. Wow. This is an in-depth investigation. Sadwani said, we can point to facts and figures that might suggest things have changed, but when you walk down the streets of L.A., it doesn't feel like it, so it hasn't passed the field test. That's the problem, because the facts and figures are lies. They're lies and propaganda, because they know the L.A. Times will keep repeating the lies and propaganda. And then you have this political analyst going, well, people aren't believing the facts and figures because they go outside and they see the naked guy taking a crap on their lawn. Like when you see a guy shooting up drugs in the park, right? Running around with no pants, they expect our thought to be, I don't know, according to the recent study and survey they did, that guy doesn't actually exist. He's actually been put in an inside safe motel room. That's funny. I see him pretty clearly. Oh, look what he's doing now. All right. More coming up. Got an extra bonus hour here. Tim was already on from noon to 3, and we got Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman on after 7. Michael Crozier time, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
KFI coverage on primary election day. I'm Michael Crozier, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The political word is fascinated with the race to be LA's next mayor. And at watch parties been happening all over California. KFI's Eileen Gonzalez is live in Koreatown at the party for Mayor Karen Bass.
So this is taking place at the Line Hotel in Koreatown. Mayor Karen Bass is the featured guest at the LA County Democratic Party election night gathering. It actually starts at 8 o'clock, but the press is going to be allowed at 6, so there are news trucks lined up everywhere. For a little while, it looked like we weren't going to get in. We sent in our RSVP and we did not get a response until just surprisingly, after we did our 5 o'clock show and I mentioned how we were not able to get in, we didn't get a response. And I think about 5 minutes after that, I got an answer and we're going to be heading into the party. So I'm going to head in just a little bit, get checked in with the press, and I'll let you know the latest.
All right, that's Eileen Gonzalez live at the party in Koreatown for current Mayor Karen Bass. The Energy's building inside Steve Hilton's election night watch party for Governor of California. KFI's Heather Brooker's live in Huntington Beach with a peek inside.
Hey, Crow. Yeah, I'm at the Hilton Waterfront Resort here, where we're just steps away from the beach. This is a gorgeous place to party if you're going to party, and that is where Steve Hilton is setting up his camp tonight. About 700 supporters of Republican candidate Hilton will be packed into the ballroom for this watch party. They're all waiting to see whether this former Fox TV host can turn his message into some political momentum. Now, so far, it's just been the media setting up next to these beautiful tables covered in white tablecloths. There is a bar here set up as well. We got a giant balloon arch, swag table, lots of T-shirts and hats, and, of course, Hilton's book and signs everywhere that say change is coming. Hilton has built his campaign around the promise of shaking up Sacramento. And tonight, supporters are hoping voters across the state are ready for that message. And I'm going to be here ready to speak to Mr. Hilton the minute he decides to come on into the ballroom. Reporting live in Huntington Beach, Heather Brooker, KFI News.
And there is about 2 more hours left till the voting centers close, barring any extensions. KFI's team coverage continues with Brigida D'Agostino in Woodland Hills, talking with voters about to get their take on things.
Hey there, Crow. It's still really slow here at the voting center in Pierce College, but people do seem to be coming in waves of about 10 to 20 people, and this is people of all ages, but I am speaking to a lot of young people since this is a college campus. And earlier I talked to some Persian voters, Gen Z, and asked them how they feel about voter ID laws and whether they are going to support them in November or not. Take a listen to what they said.
I think the voter ID law is really important to have, is because we don't want random people coming out from different countries just to vote.
I'm so grateful for the right to vote in America. So many countries, like I said, my family in Iran does not have the right to vote right now. There are so many other places where they can't vote, and I'm so grateful for this democracy we live in. And I think it should be upheld by just having more accountability with who's voting for where and what and when.
While they were concerned that some people might find it harder to vote with voter ID laws, they also said if you need a driver's license to buy alcohol, drive a car, and get on an airplane, then you should have one to participate in elections. Live from Woodland Hills, Brigida D'Agostino, KFI News.
And Eileen, Heather, and Brigida will all be out there into the evening as our coverage continues for all the primary elections taking place today. This report brought to you by LAUSD. The race for governor of California, you heard Heather talking about it, could see 2 Democrats or a Democrat and a Republican in a November runoff.
There are really only 3 people for 2 spots. And the 3 people are a hard right MAGA Republican named Steve Hilton, a corporate Democrat named Javier Becerra, and me. And I've been trying really hard to work for Californian people, taking no money from corporations.
Democrat Tom Steyer polling second behind Becerra. Hilton's in 3rd place. More than 60 people are running for governor. The top 2 finishers tonight face off again in the fall. Police in Bakersfield say they're dealing with an active bomb threat and hostage situation inside a Chase bank. Police say there are an unknown number of people in the bank. Last we heard was maybe they had 1 person hostage. CBS News is reporting the bomb is strapped to the man's chest. Police have locked down a wide perimeter around the bank, say they're involved in ongoing negotiations with him. A Russian attack on Ukraine overnight reportedly killed at least 22 people and hurt more than 130 others.
More than 70 missiles and over 600 drones, mostly targeting Kyiv, but also badly hitting the southern city of Dnipro. Dozens of residential buildings were damaged. There were explosions on the skyline all night.
ABC's Patrick Reevell says the Ukrainians are asking the U.S. to allow them to start producing Patriot missiles themselves. Russia warned last week a massive aerial attack was coming and told foreign diplomats to leave. And a study from UC Riverside shows high-puff electronic cigarettes may contain higher levels of harmful chemicals than regular vapes. Researchers analyzed liquid from popular disposable vape devices, compared the leftover liquid in them to fresh, unused versions of the same brands and flavors, looking to see how the chemical makeup changed over time and the use. They say a person using a high-puff device toward the end of its life might inhale significantly more harmful chemicals. Southline weather from KFI. Clouds and fog moving in with cool temperatures again this evening. Lows in the mid-40s overnight. Slow clearing tomorrow and a few degrees warmer during the day. Highs around 70 at the beaches, around 80 Metro LA, Orange County, 105 and above that in the Inland Empire near Palm Springs. 80 and up San Fernando Valley, mid to upper 90s in the high desert. About the same Thursday and then down a bit again Friday and into the weekend. Right now, 73 in Garden Grove, 71 in Laguna de Geld, 83 in Chatsworth, 91 in Van Nuys. The KFI Financial Report brought to you by Supershore, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow was up today, 228. NASDAQ was up 7. S&P was up 9. There's a crash in West L.A.
You'll find it on the South 405, just past the 10 Santa Monica Freeway. A two-vehicle collision is blocked left lane. South 405, your stop and go from Santa Monica Boulevard all the way down to the 605 in Seal Beach. Have a hot spot right now in Pomona, 10 eastbound at Dudley Street. This is where a big rig caught fire. Surprisingly, no lanes are blocked, but the 10 eastbound, you're slow and go from City Terrace Drive to Azusa Avenue, and then again from Kellogg Drive down to Monte Vista. 60 eastbound past Nogales. Watch for a motorcycle accident. It might still be in the carpool lane. You have off and on delays from the East LA interchange to Haven Avenue on the East Pomona Freeway. 105 eastbound just before Paramount Boulevard, you have a disabled tractor trailer clearing out of one of the middle lanes. That's causing a backup right near LAX, right around Aviation Boulevard. The Angels take on the Colorado Rockies in about a half hour from now in Anaheim. Now, if you're heading to the Big A right now, 57 northbound slow going from the Orange Crush to the 91. 57 southbound is reduced speeds between Ball Road and the Orange Crush interchange. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
Summer is heating up, but your wallet doesn't have to.
New windows and doors don't have to cost you a thing until 2028. Book this June and pay nothing for 2 years with American Vision Windows.
They've installed over 1 million windows across California and get most jobs done in one day. Hurry, offer ends June 30th.
Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call 888-785-5713. That's 888-785-5713.
New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Callers see the website for details. Offer ends June 30th, 2026.
Stream the primary elections live on Fox Local on Fox One. Stay informed with breaking news, race updates, and results in real time. Fox One brings all your favorite Fox channels together. Stream now. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit fox.com.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
This September, coming back to Las Vegas, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com.
But starting June 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet?
KFI AM 640. An iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's Tim Conway time, but Tim already put in his hours today. He worked from noon until 3. We shuffled the schedule today for just the day in order to accommodate election coverage tonight. So I'm going to be on an extra hour instead of Tim. And then at 7 o'clock, it's going to be Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman, and they will host election night coverage. Polls close at 8. And then I think the way we're going to do it is Chris and Gary are going to count ballots one by one as they come in. And that's about the speed of the returns. Probably only half the ballots get cast tonight. So in tight races, we could wait days, we could wait weeks, because California is the only place in the whole country that takes this long to count ballots. Nobody else does. Oh, you know what? I got to get that LA Times story. I wanted to read. Oh, yes, I forgot. The annual list of excuses by the apologists at the LA Times for why California takes so long to count the ballots and how it's actually a good thing. Every year or every election cycle, they print this. Let's now, we got this clip. I just saw it online. And this is Karen Bass. Is this Jess Bass? She was on with Alex Michelson the other night on CNN, and Alex asked her to give some kind of closing argument. And here's just a little snippet of it.
Say no time for amateurs. We don't need a TV.
This was at an event. Oh, this was at an event yesterday. Okay, sorry. Then start again.
Say no time for amateurs. We don't need a TV reality show villain, nor do we need a former councilwoman who has been in City Hall twice as long as I have and who is okay with tents in the street.
She complains, oh, Kathy Rahman's okay with tents in the street. You can't make this stuff up. You can't parody this. There's literally tens of thousands of tents in the street in Los Angeles under Karen Bass's rule, under her nose, on the City Hall property and all around City Hall leading to that building. The only time I've ever seen Karen Bass get really angry and animated is to go and scream at ICE agents. She never got upset about the tents. Oh, and by the way, here's a story that they will not report outside of the Rand Corporation and a couple of other small outlets. When the Rand Corporation did their latest count and found that there was no homeless reduction in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row, the three largest homeless centers, none statistically from December of 2024 right through January of 2026, 14 months. Because you keep hearing Bass like, well, it's gone down 2 years in a row. No, it didn't. And what happened is she got rid of a lot of the tents, but the people in the tents are still sleeping outdoors in those districts. It's called rough sleeping. You can go read the news stories. The City Journal did a story on this, and it's the Rand Corporation's research. They did a count. So rough sleeping is when you're still homeless, you're still out in public, but you don't have a tent anymore. You're sleeping on the ground. In an alleyway, you're curled up, maybe in a storefront, and maybe you have a bedroll or something soft, right? Rough sleeping. That's the new term. And apparently a large percentage of the people who were kicked out of their tents are still there just without tents, without the tent over their heads. So Karen Bass is going, oh, yeah, I got rid of the tents, see? And she's making fun of Nithya Rahman for being okay with tents. So Karen Bass actually paid to have her workers rip the tents away and leave the homeless behind. That's unbelievable. All right, let me tell you about, I haven't brought her name up because I didn't want to add to the name recognition. Because, Mike Bonin destroyed the west side of L.A. for a few years by allowing rampant homelessness and criminal activity and drug addicts and mental patients until Tracy Park came along. And, Bonin was basically forced out. He knew his time was up. He wasn't going to survive an election. Tracy Park got elected. And Tracy Park has done a tremendous job of cleaning up the west side. And any microscopic statistical gains that Karen Bass wants to take credit for comes from Tracy Park's work. But of course, the West Side being what it is, there's another Democratic Socialists of America candidate running against Tracy, Faiza Malik. I see no indication that she's going to have a chance of winning. And it turns out, now, I told you about the DSA yesterday. There's only 5,000 of them in the county. But somehow they ended up with 4 seats and the city controller's office. And Faiza Malik wanted to be the 5th. Well, the New York Post did a little investigation, and she has a $2.5 million mansion in Venice. Yes. Her campaign is about rent reform and housing affordability. But she's a rich woman. Yes, she's a rich girl. $2.5 million. 5,780 square foot lot. And An all-white kitchen, stainless steel appliances, multiple bedrooms, private balconies, a deck designed for outdoor dining, high-end finishes throughout. And this is in Venice, where there aren't too many standalone homes with those features. The property is tucked inside Penmar, which is a section near the Penmar Golf Course. Neighborhood of single-family homes where prices run from $1.7 to $4 million. If you were going to rent out Faiza Malik's house, it would be $8,000 a month, which is almost triple what the average LA resident pays for rent. Only 9% pay more than $6,000 a month in Los Angeles, and her property would rent for $8,000. And so you have a rich woman, and these DSA people are often wealthy. In fact, somebody told me today that the DSA has a get out the vote system. They go knocking door to door on election day, and it's made up of trust fund kids. These are the trust fund kids who organize these raucous, violent protests against homeless being removed in Echo Park. Remember Echo Park Lake? Yeah, you had all these crazy people, and you found out, like, one of them, I remember, was the son of a Hollywood Academy Award winning director. Lots of wealthy kids, spoiled jerk a-hole kids, drive around in rich cars, terrorize middle-class neighborhoods by insisting that they're all a bunch of fascists for wanting all the drug addicts and mental patients out of the park. All right, let's take a break. And Steve Hilton is coming on with a surprise appearance in the next segment. Steve Hilton and Michael Crozier is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Deliberations have started in the lawsuit against socialite Rebecca Grossman and former Dodgers pitcher Scott Erickson in the alleged street race crash in Westlake Village that killed two young brothers in 2020. A jet ski salesman in Australia who allegedly set up offshore money laundering for Mexican drug cartels and North Korean arms dealers could be extradited to the U.S. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. There's a crash in Carson.
And you'll find it on the 405 northbound just before the 110. It's a hit-and-run situation in the center divider area. Up ahead in the valley, 405 northbound right at the 5 freeway. It's a multi-vehicle wreck. It just cleared from lanes over to the left shoulder. 405 northbound, first you have delays from Culver Boulevard up to Roscoe Boulevard, and then you're slow again on the north 405 from the 118 up to the 5. Good news out of the East LA, or excuse me, this would be the Linwood area. 105 eastbound just before Paramount Boulevard. A stalled tractor-trailer cleared from the middle lanes of the roadway. For Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
All right, let's talk about the brand new show every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. I host it with a really great guy. A guy named Rich. His name is Rich Jacoby. It's called The Crest Report. We talk about gold and silver. He knows more about it than I do. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but he knows everything about it. And so last year, S&P had a pretty good year, up 16%. Gold up about 80%, and silver more than 150%. And still we'll get record debt, inflation, global instability, and that is forcing gold and silver on these record, levels. So you got to call him right now, Golden Crest Metals, and he's offering a free information kit that explains step-by-step how you can add gold or silver to an IRA or 401k tax and penalty free. Plus, when you buy premium gold mintage coins, you're going to get 10% of your purchase price in free silver. But eventually he's going to run out of free silver. So phone him up right away, 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843. And you can also listen every Saturday, 5 to 6 p.m. We do the show live, Mark. We do it live. Oh, yeah? Yes, 5 to 6 every Saturday right here on KFI AM 640.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The blockbuster trade that brought pass rusher Myles Garrett to the Rams was reportedly years in the making, with the team's first call to Cleveland in 2022. The Dodgers will continue their series in Arizona tonight, hoping to get back into the win column after dropping the opener. NBA star Steph Curry has a new endorsement deal with Chinese shoemaker Li Ning, expanding his Curry brand venture globally. I'm Frank Garrity.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart. This report is sponsored by Summit Clinical Research. Every breakthrough starts with someone willing to take part. Summit Clinical Research is seeking volunteers with fatty liver disease for studies focused on MASH. Participants may receive study treatment, care, and compensation at no cost. Check eligibility at NASHlivertrials.com.
Ronald Reagan was president when Habas Law was born.
A lot has changed in the past 40 years, but the ideas and philosophies that hold Habas Law together have not changed at all.
Our core beliefs have only grown stronger.
We believe in doing the right thing.
Because it's the right thing to do.
My father taught me that. I'm Omar Habas.
His father was my grandfather. I'm Nicholas Habas.
My father owned a small group of neighborhood markets.
Little grocery stores.
And he knew all his customers.
And his customers knew him.
When a family was down on their luck,
he would always let them take whatever groceries they needed until they were back on their feet.
My father always did the right thing.
Because it was the right thing to do.
We are his descendants.
And we do it too.
When you've been injured
and you're having a bad day,
call 1-800-INJURED.
And your bad day will go away.
Call Habas Law.
Your day is about to get a whole lot better.
What my father did for others,
we're going to do for you.
HAVVASlaw.com.
Omar Habas and Nicholas Habas are California licensed attorneys with an office in Los Angeles. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Ellen K's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Secrets, betrayal, relationship drama, it's all there. Binge the episodes now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Ellen K's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
Get on-the-go snacks at Whole Foods Market. Save 30% on Stonyfield organic yogurt with Prime through June 9th. Get savings on yogurt pouches, cups, drinks, and tubes for summer adventures. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Hey, y'all, it's Dean Sharp, your house whisperer. You know, here in L.A., Tina and I got tired of wondering what was actually in our tap water, and that is why we put in a LifeSource whole house water system. Now, I don't think twice about the water that my family drinks or cooks with or showers in. That is peace of mind, and that is why LifeSource has become an essential home appliance. And for a limited time, you get factory direct pricing and free installation. Call the factory direct at 800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com.
After a major accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? That's where Wilshire Law Firm comes in. With over 100 attorneys, we've helped recover more than $2 billion for our clients. Let the firm that's been recognized as #1 in personal injury settlements fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. For a free consultation 24/7, call Wilshire Law Firm, 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm won more top 100 personal injury settlements in 2024 than any other law firm in California, as reported by TopVerdict.com. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
Yacht Rock Radio on iHeartRadio drops anchor and goes commercial-free every weekend. Weekends were made for smooth sailing. Yacht Rock Radio's got the soundtrack. Just sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy. The smoothest soft rock from the 70s and 80s.
You're the biggest part of me.
Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and set sail.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt in for Conway this hour for election night coverage. And then at 7 o'clock, it's going to be Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman. Let's talk to Steve Hilton, who's, we're waiting on him still? Okay. Steve Hilton's going to be on momentarily. By the way, since we're going on until 7, the podcast will be released just after 7 o'clock. John Kobylt Show on demand. Are we still live on YouTube? Well, my screen is not showing anything. And youtube.com/ there I am at youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. And you can subscribe and become a member. So we, everybody's like desperately trying to figure out what's going on. And because it's, if you really are hoping that tonight is going to be the start of the big change. and online, and there's a lot of speculation, but nothing definitive. Steve Hilton is now ready for us. Steve, how are you?
A little bit held up, but it's a big and busy day, and feeling confident, but still time for anyone who hasn't voted to get out there and vote for change. You got to do it. Don't complain about it if you didn't vote.
You're not privy to any special vote count or secret returns or any exit polling, are you?
We're really not, I'm afraid. I wish I could give you some information. I'm seeing the same things that you're seeing, and most of those things are encouraging. We're seeing much higher Republican turnout than in the previous governor's race, lower Democrat turnout. That's a good thing. That's enthusiasm on our side, which is not replicated on their side. Now, that could still change by the end of the day. We've still got an hour and a half. And so who knows? But nothing has happened. We're not seeing anything to change our basic confidence that we're going to make it through in the top two. It is a tight race. And so I am urging every single person, if you haven't voted yet, you know how sometimes these races are so close?
Yes.
Imagine how annoyed you would be. I'm just speaking to everyone listening now. Imagine how annoyed you would be if it turns out that we just had, two Democrats squeak into the general election in California for the sake of a few votes that could have gone the other way. So don't let that be you. Make sure everybody votes. Seriously. Yes. It's very, very important.
No, I'm going to hold them personally responsible. If they liked you and didn't bother, because right now all you got to do is go to the kitchen table and check the box next to your name, and then put it in a mailbox, or actually go to the post office and get it postmarked by tonight.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Dump it in one of the drop. You can do.
The drop boxes. Yeah, that's what you do. Go to the drop boxes. Yeah, don't worry about the post office. Good Lord, won't come in till next April. You go to the drop boxes. Those are all over the place. I mean, there's just no excuse. And I was talking about this a lot before. It frustrates me that people can see what's going on, and they deal with all the issues that we have discussed so many times already. Yeah. It's like, just do a vote. We're not. Let's take you a few minutes.
It's really true. There's nothing preventing a massive red wave in California. There's enough people who absolutely are fed up with the insanity, the nonsense, the taxes, the regulations, all the things, the gender extremism, the climate extremism, the cost of gas, the electric bills that are double the national average. It's on and on. I mean, we could spend the whole hour talking about all the different ways that these Democrats with 16 years in power where they've state. But we can turn it around. We have that power. It's us. We have it. They can't tell you how to vote. They are vulnerable to a revolution, and the revolution is in our hands if we want to just go out there and get it. That's what I'm saying to everyone right now. We got to do this.
And I guess in California, the vote count might take some days, maybe a week or two if it's really, really tight.
I know. I mean, that's insane. I mean, look at that. What an embarrassment to our state. And you have the Secretary of State preemptively going out on the media and saying, oh, it's going to take a long time. We won't get results. What a pathetic spectacle. They keep going on about how we're the fourth biggest economy in the world. Okay, then act like it. I mean, Florida, you get the result tonight. They have early voting too, which is the same sort of thing. Like, why? How can Florida do it and we can't? It's completely ridiculous and unacceptable.
All 49 states can do it. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. I don't care what. 49 states get their results in, most of them right away. In California, it's weeks.
It's completely unacceptable. And there's just a sign of how it's like someone made the comparison today, like Nate Silver, actually, who's no kind of, Republican. He says this is failed state stuff. That's exactly right. It's the same utter inability to just get basic things right that you see with high-speed rail. You see it with homelessness. You see it just right across our state. They are totally clueless and have no idea what they're doing. And then the election shambles is just another example of it.
Steve Hilton, we'll talk soon.
Fantastic. Great to be with you, John. See you soon. And everyone, if you haven't voted, go vote for change. I'm the only candidate that can get in the top two that's going to bring change.
All right, Steve Hilton. You heard him. Can't improve on that message. Just do it, for God's sakes. You got an hour and a half. Just do it. And we've got Michael Crozier live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
You kind of heard from Hilton there. 2 Democrats and a Republican are fighting for the top 2 spots in the governor's race. Polls show Javier Becerra leading.
I'm running for governor. I got my eye on the prize.
Tom Steyer and Steve Hilton right behind him. Hilton says he's running a practical campaign.
Simple, positive things to make people's lives better. Your first $100,000 tax-free, $3 gas, cut your electric bills in half, a home you can afford to buy.
More than 60 people are running for governor, but there'll only be 2 after tonight that will face off against each other in November. The polls close at 8 o'clock, including for mayor of L.A., but it could be a while before winners are known. Experts say the ballot counting process in California has slowed down in recent years because of the emphasis on voter accessibility and accuracy. A House race for the Central Valley in 2022 took 3 weeks to call when the outcome came down to a couple hundred votes. 2024 took 17 days for State Senator Laura Richardson to be declared the winner of a close race in South LA. That same year, a second-place tie in Northern California led to a recount that took nearly 2 months to sort out. And college grads need to get outside if they want a job.
The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says the rise of remote work since the pandemic has made businesses more reluctant to hire young, inexperienced workers and is the key driver of higher unemployment rates for recent college graduates. The study concludes that businesses are reluctant to hire new college grads into remote work because it's harder to train and mentor them when they are working from home. The authors of the study calculate that remote work is responsible for nearly 2/3 of the rise in the unemployment rate for young college grads since the pandemic. Deborah Mark, KFI News.
Clouds, fog, and coolness overnight tonight. Gradually clearing tomorrow and a little warmer. Mostly the same on Thursday, and then a teeny bit cooler Friday and for the weekend. Right now, 74 in San Juan Capistrano, 79 in Stanton. Things are getting cleared up in Pomona.
And especially on the 10 eastbound right at Dudley Street. That's where we had a big rig fire. Well, that big rig fire just cleared off the roadway, but the 10 eastbound, first you're slow from City Terrace Drive down to Vincent Avenue, and then again from Kellogg Drive down to Indian Hill Boulevard. Things are looking good in the Hacienda Heights area as well. Actually, this is closer to Roland Heights. 60 eastbound past Nogales. A motorcycle crash cleared from the carpool lane, but you have delays from the 710 to the 605. E60 slows again from Fullerton Road to the 57. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
All right, here's a good place to socialize and get out and meet people. Morongo! Yes. They're giving away a Manitou Cruise pontoon boat. Another way you can socialize. Invite people onto your boat. Whoa, what a great way to hang with people. You can earn entries, playing your favorite table games, and be there on May 31st at 10 p.m. to win. Poolside playback. Catch AC/DC tribute band, Noise Pollution. They're playing your favorite songs Thursday, June 4th, free if you're a rewards card member. And if you're not a rewards card member, you can sign up. It's free. So also, there's a casita or a day bed with your name on it at the Oasis Pool. So reserve one today. Canyon Lanes for bowling. That's a great experience. You can also meet people there and socialize there when you go bowling. And also, don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center always has the lowest prices around. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. It's good times.
Most people don't realize this, but the June 2nd primary will likely decide the future of Los Angeles. We are talking about the future of a city with nearly 4 million people and the Olympics and Super Bowl on the horizon. We cannot afford another 4 years of decline, dysfunction, and failed leadership. We need a proven leader that can fix LA, and that's Adam Miller. Adam has led businesses and nonprofits for the last 35 years and knows how to build a better Los Angeles. Vote Miller for mayor.
I'm Adam Miller, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Vote Miller for LA Mayor 2026.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-506-9295. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-506-9295. That's 800-506-9295. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Have you tried Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro but still feel stuck? Many patients lose some weight on injections only to plateau while still struggling with obesity, sleep apnea, reflux, diabetes, or joint pain. Plus, monthly medication costs can add up. And many people regain weight after stopping treatment. West Medical's bariatric surgery might just provide the long-term solution you've been looking for. Schedule your free consultation at 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Getting you back to your life pursuit. Hogue Orthopedic Institute. Call 1-800-919-2000.
Summer's heating up, but your wallet doesn't have to. This June, American Vision Windows is offering no interest and no payments for 2 years on new windows and doors. That's right. You pay nothing until 2028. New windows don't just help you beat the heat. They lock in comfort all year round, lower your energy bills, and give your home a stunning upgrade your neighbors will definitely notice. American Vision Windows is 100% employee owned, which means every person on your project has a personal stake in getting it right. After 25 years and over 1 million windows installed, that accountability has made them the most trusted name in window replacement. Most jobs are done in just 1 day. Beautiful new windows by evening and 0 payments until 2028. But this offer ends June 30th. Go to AmericanVisionWindows.com or 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call us website for details. Offer ends June 30th, 2026.
For official rules and more information about contests on the station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules. Today,
we don't have real oversight over the hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's primary night on KFI.
AM 640.
I'm the look-around candidate. Use your own eyes.
KFI brings you live election night coverage.
People would like to stay in California. We have to make it so they can afford it.
With Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill beginning at 7 p.m. Listen live on KFI AM 640 on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And John Kobylt in for Conway. Conway was on earlier from noon to 3. I'm staying an extra hour till 7. And then Chris Merrill and Gary Hoffman come in to do election night coverage. And let me give you a preview what this election night is going to be like. Because the LA Times, and I swear they publish this every year, and it's infuriating because they're the biggest print/internet news outlet in town. And what they do is they just print the propaganda from the government. And so every time there's an election, it's like, yes, the count's going to be slow, but there's a good reason for it. Here's why you should live with it. And they quote all their experts and all the officials. The headline, vote count for California governor and LA mayor could be painfully slow. Don't expect instant gratification, in quotes. Instant gratification. There you go. Right from the start. Oh, now aren't you being a toddler? You're demanding your treat right away. You're not a mature adult. You think just because the other 49 states get all their votes counted on election night, that this state should as well. No, 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 no. This is a world of instant gratification and TikTok attention spans. You're just going to have to wait until us experts, your elders, your betters, do the proper count. Because maybe it takes time to get at the truth, to get at the real winner. And you just have to understand that. And then they go through a greatest hits list of California electoral failures. In the Central Valley in 2022, there was one U.S. House race that took 3 weeks to call. And the outcome came down to a couple of hundred votes. 2 years later, a state senator named Laura Richardson waited 17 days to be announced the winner of a race in South L.A. same year in 2024, it took 2 months to sort out over who, because of a second place tie in Northern California. And I'm assuming that was a runoff situation. I guess. I'm not interested enough, but it shouldn't take 2 months to count anything. California, and LA County particularly, is notorious for slow election counts. But Tuesday's primary could test the patience of even the most knowing political junkie. Would test the patience of even the most knowing political junkies. Boy, this is written terribly. We're trying to keep people calm, said the chief executive of a group that works on policy solutions. She's with New California Coalition. I don't know what that is. We're trying to keep people calm. Expect not to know. Screw that. What do you mean expect not to know? Well, why do we have to keep calm? This is where some anger and rebellion are called for. 49 states can count their ballots. We can't. And you've got somebody wagging their finger, scolding, patting you on the head. Now, you little toddler with the short attention span. You want instant gratification. Please keep calm. Expect not to know. No, I expect to know. Everybody else in the country can know. Why can't we know? Because you got a crappy system? Experts who spoke to the Times say results for the most publicized and close races will probably not be clear Tuesday night. Although many races could be called by then, but just maybe not the tight ones. The lengthy vote count is a result of the many ways voters can cast ballots in the state. You know, like go to a nursing home and collect them from semi-comatose patients. Election officials, though, say it expands access and participation, but increases the time on the back end to process and confirm and verify the ballots. It's like, where'd you get these from? Access and participate. You know, the system worked for 200 years. Said election day, 7 in the morning, 8 at night, show up at the precinct in your neighborhood, go to the voting machine or check the box on a sheet of paper and go home. Work perfectly. What is this? If you don't want to spend 10 minutes out of your day to vote, 10 minutes out of your year, then you don't get to vote. How's that? In particular, the expansion and popularity of universal vote by mail has created more steps to count and confirm ballots. Unlike in-person voting, where verification happens up front. Oh, yeah. The no voter ID verification. Mail-in ballots must be inspected and have signatures verified. Do you believe that they actually verify everybody's signature? Does anybody believe that? When millions of ballots come in, are you telling me these? Did you see these blobs sitting behind the tables at the vote count centers? You're telling me these hardworking government bureaucrats are matching signatures and can read the match properly? No, I don't believe that. If a voter's signature is missing or does not match, California law requires election officials to notify that voter and give them the opportunity to fix the problem, which can also delay the process. Hey, you forgot to sign this thing. Can you come over to the voting center? Anytime today, tomorrow, week from Friday's fine. No problem. We have 30 days. Ballots are accepted up to 7 days after the election if they're postmarked on or before Election Day. So it can take days to receive all relevant ballots because the post office sucks. Why would you need, in 2026, 7 days for a ballot to arrive from your home to the ballot counting center? Well, how could that possibly take 7 days? But election watchdogs are universally clear. Again, a little more finger wagging here. Although results come in slower, it doesn't inherently point to any problems or fraud. In fact, they say the opposite. Well, of course they do. We allow this. Jessica Levinson. Boy, they dig her up from the law professor crypt for almost every story. Jessica Levinson says, we allow people lots of different avenues to vote. And as a result, it takes longer to count up all the votes. And that's how it should be. It's an argument in favor of making sure the process runs correctly, not quickly. So sit down again, you rambunctious little toddler. Here's a lollipop. No instant gratification. We are adults. We're doing this carefully and properly, unlike the other 49 states. Tracy Hernandez is back. It's healthy. It should result in more Californians being able to vote. Why are these two so excited about this? It's kind of weird. I can't imagine getting excited that it takes 3 weeks to count the votes. Yes, and I think that's very healthy. I think that's very good for American democracy. Why are you so passionate about that? What's your motivation? LA County has become known for its exceptionally slow election results. But experts say that's because how many ballots it handles. And then they talk about the phenomena where you'll have a lot of vote for a guy like Rick Caruso, and then suddenly by the next morning it's Karen Bass. Yeah, that process. Do I have to go through that again? It's amazing. You read these stories, how many times they use the word expert or expertise. That's their religion. That's their holy grail. An expert. Why? Are you educated? Do you have a degree? You're an expert. That means you have expertise. 49 states. This is nonsense. Bull crap. And I'm not gonna sit quietly. I'm gonna be a rambunctious toddler with a short attention span. I want instant gratification. I think if it's proven in 90% of the states that it can be done, then it should be done in this state too. And I question why it's not. And I question the motivations of the people who get so passionate defending it. We come back. Closing argument about Karen Bass, but somebody else wrote it. But it was so good, and I want to read it to you. In case in the last hour you haven't been motivated yet to go out and vote for Spencer Pratt and vote against Karen Bass. We'll just do a little run through here. Tell you about it when we come back. Michael Crozier live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
July 24th has been announced as the new date for the White House Correspondents' Dinner after that shooting outside the ballroom for the original one in April. Senate Republicans discussing next steps over the Trump administration's $1.776 billion 1776 fund that could give money to January 6th Capitol rioters. Democrats have introduced legislation to block it. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash in Irvine.
You'll find it on the 405 northbound just before Jeffrey Road, a two-vehicle collision clearing from the center divider area. Through Orange County, you have reduced speeds on the North 405 from the 133 up to Westminster Boulevard. Up ahead, very heavy delays leaving the west side on the 405 northbound from Culver Boulevard up to Roscoe Boulevard. Traveling farther north on the 405, right at the 5, the Golden State Freeway junction in the valley. An earlier multi-vehicle crash cleared from the center divider area and off the freeway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Mike Morris.
All right, let's talk about the brand new show every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. I host it with a really great guy. A guy named Rich. His name is Rich Jacoby. It's called the Crest Report. We talk about gold and silver. He knows more about it than I do. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but he knows everything about it. And so last year, S&P had a pretty good year, up 16%. Gold up about 80%, and silver more than 150%. And still, we'll get record debt, inflation, global instability, and that is forcing gold and silver on these record, levels. So you got to call him right now, Golden Crest Metals, and he's offering a free information kit that explains step by step how you can add gold or silver to an IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. Plus, when you buy premium gold mintage coins, you're going to get 10% of your purchase price in free silver. But eventually, he's going to run out of free silver. So phone him up right away, 833-362-3843, 833-362-3843. And you can also listen every Saturday, 5 to 6 p.m. We do the show live, Mark. We do it live. Oh, yeah? Yes, 5 to 6 every Saturday right here on KFI AM 640.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food, made right here in L.A.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The blockbuster trade that brought pass rusher Myles Garrett to the Rams was reportedly years in the making, with the team's first call to Cleveland in 2022. The Dodgers will continue their series in Arizona tonight, hoping to get back into the win column after dropping the opener. NBA star Steph Curry has a new endorsement deal with Chinese shoemaker Li Ning, expanding his Curry brand venture globally. I'm Frank Garrity.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Albertsons and Vons. This week at Vons or Albertsons, get Signature Select Whole Frying Chicken, drumsticks, or bone-in thighs in value packs for 99 cents a pound. And refrigerated coffee-made creamer, 28 to 32 ounces is $2.99. Limit 4 with membership where applicable.
Ad paid for by JobsPac, a bipartisan coalition of California employers sponsored by the California Chamber of Commerce, top funder Edison International and affiliated entities. This advertisement was not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate. Some people run for office to get rich on the backs of taxpayers. Retired Colonel Tom Umberg is running for Board of Equalization to hold them accountable. 3 overseas deployments. Army Special Operations paratrooper, served in Afghanistan, and he earned the Bronze Star doing it. Back home, he prosecuted sex offenders and took on white-collar fraud. As a state senator, he returned hundreds of millions of tax dollars to our community. Decade after decade, one thing has never changed. Tom Umberg fights for accountability, and he fights for us. Vote Colonel Tom Umberg. Use of retired Colonel Tom Umberg's military rank and job titles does not imply endorsement by the Department of the Army or the Department of Defense.
No one really likes talking about bad breath, so Zellman's wants to change the conversation and talk about fresh breath. Zellman's has become so popular because they work and they're unlike any other breath freshener on the planet. You don't have to believe me. Take the Zellman's challenge. Go ahead, order some today and see for yourself just how great they really are. With a money-back guarantee if you don't love them. Now, that's confidence. Go ahead and take the challenge. Zellman's is not available in stores, only at Zellmans.com, Zelmins, Zellmans.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The first Top Shelf Country Cruise showed out. The bar's set at exceptional. Don't miss the second sailing in March 2027 aboard the luxurious Celebrity Summit, departing from Tampa with stops in Bimini, Key West, and Cozumel. Plus, performances from some of your favorite country artists, including Riley Green, Chris Young, Lauren Elena, and Randy Houser. Our price guarantee locks in your best deal the moment you book. No surprises. Don't settle for anything less than Top Shelf. Reserve your cabin at TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
Having car problems that won't go away? If your vehicle's been in the shop 2 or more times for the same issue, you may qualify for a refund, replacement, or cash compensation. You pay nothing, the manufacturer covers the fees. Go to refundyourlemon.com. It takes just 2 minutes. That's refundyourlemon.com.
With iHeart, everything you hear is guaranteed human. That's why 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio host's product recommendations. If you manage a business or need to drive sales, that trust goes a long way. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. Again, that's iHeartAdvertising.com.
I took Mom to catch a ball game. Is it time to pick her up yet? Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center has the lowest price gas around.
Number 2.
Happy Hour at Mosen. Half price drinks, Monday through Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m., Friday, noon to 5 p.m.
And the number 1 reason.
Get ready to rock with the best tribute bands in SoCal. Every Thursday at Oasis Pool.
Morongo. Good times.
This is KFI.
Yeah, we're getting different stories, how unusual, and you notice that there really is no timeline anymore.
Bill Handel, tomorrow morning at 6 on KFI AM 640.
It used to be if Iran doesn't come to the table, doesn't stop its nuclear enrichment program, you've got until Wednesday night. Timelines are gone. And now it's simply a question of if Iran doesn't come to the table soon, this thing is going to blow up.
More stimulating talk.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world will be listening.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show. And final minutes here. Well, actually, it's Conway's show, but I stayed extra. And coming up for the rest of the evening in just a moment is going to be Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill. I just want to read a little piece of this for a minute. Jeremy Padower is someone we've had on the show a number of times. He's a business executive in the toy industry, and he lost everything: his house, his toy collections is really awful. And he put on that protest, They Let Us Burn, back in January, the place where Pratt announced that he was running for mayor. So Jeremy put together his own closing argument. I'm just going to read a small piece of it, just for those of you still on the fence or not motivated enough. A recap of the LA Palisades Fire debacle. For Mayor Bass, he writes, went to Ghana despite clear warnings, erased all her texts, conspired with the LA Fire Department to alter the after-action report, oversaw a team defined by inaction, ineptitude, and negligence, claimed total immunity, failed in a civil court, appealed, and failed again. Her deputy mayor of emergency services, Brian Williams, indicted for a bomb threat to City Hall, convicted, not available that day for the fire. Director of Office of Emergency Management, caught sleeping a lot, quit 2 weeks later. The fire chief, Crowley, fired by Bass, and she sued, claiming wrongful, retaliatory, politically motivated behavior. LA Fire Department, fire engine strike teams, aerial resources insufficient, not pre-positioned despite clear red flag warnings. Up to 40% of the fire apparatus unavailable due to maintenance and upkeep issues, and conspired with Bass to alter the after-action report. LA Department of Water and Power, reservoir empty for 12 months because they didn't spend $200,000 to fix a cover. Water systems feeding the Palisades at inadequate storage and pressure redundancy for a worst-case wildlife scenario. I could go on and on and on, but you get the idea. That whole thing, she should have been chased out of office and out of the state that very day after she landed here from Africa.
But other than that, not bad.
Other than that, I think it was a stellar performance on her part.
Wasn't our political system in the first place born out of frustration with the powers that be?
Yes.
And designed to be, politicians were designed to be churned. They're designed to be turned over like good fertilizer.
Yeah.
I mean, we just kind of lost track of it.
I know. Well, they didn't have TikTok to distract them back then.
That's true.
Well, you guys, Gary Hoffman, who was just speaking, Chris Merrill coming up.
Yeah, Gary has already told us we're going to do some founding father maxing on the show today. I'm really excited about that.
I brought my wig.
You know, virtually no results are going to come in tonight.
Shh, we got to fill 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh, only 3?
Yeah,
you got off easy.
I know, right?
I did 5 one year.
I know you got the short end of the stick on this one.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you're still not going to get any results.
No
matter how long you sit there.
No, you're right. You're right. So we'll rehash.
Tell you what to expect when we expect to see results.
You know, that's a really good point, though. There's no results, and yet all the candidates are having parties. So what are they celebrating? Just that they're done? That they're done with this chapter?
I mean, they got to eat.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah. There's some campaign money left.
Yeah.
So why not? Let's blow it at a nice restaurant.
On steak and lobster.
Not bad. Smart. Smart.
It's hard to believe how bad the system is to count the ballots.
Gary and I were talking about this before the show started, that we're really, when you talk about democracy, you're talking about a 6,000-year-old process, and we're still doing it basically the same way that we did 6,000 years ago, right? But every time that we try to update it, that's when we start claiming that there's massive fraud. So if you institute, say, machines that can count them, all of a sudden we end up with Dominion stole the election because Hugo Chavez was behind it or something, right?
Go back to counting rocks.
So
put an X on a rock.
Right. That's it, right? Yeah. So I mean, I don't. That may be one of the questions we asked tonight too. Is what is the system then to update it that we'll believe in, that we trust? Because I think this is where we're running into this. I don't trust it, but if you fix it, I won't trust that either.
Yeah. Do we just go back to painted rocks?
That's what I think.
23 million painted rocks for the state of California.
I'm sure they can count that quicker than this.
Yeah. Why not?
All right. Gary Hoffman and Chris Merrill tonight from 7 to 10 on election night. And we have Michael Crozier live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.